welcome to Wrexham. Wrexham again after Saturday's match facing Hull City in the Carabao Cup first round. And it's all change across the pitch, but not up here, of course, in the commentary box. Andy used the phrase, the three M's, was it, or triple M to describe it?
I did go triple M, yeah.
I like that. Yeah. It's Morrell, Mia and me. Andy Morrell, Mia Roberts, Mark Griffiths, and we're delighted to be bringing you this match here from a weirdly warm, sunny racecourse. It was actually genuinely hot this afternoon in Wrexham, and yeah, it's certainly a lovely August day for the first game back at the Stoke Kairos after the celebrations of getting promoted against Charlton Athletic last season. And Wrexham have decided, as Phil Parkinson often has done in this competition, to make wholesale changes, in fact complete changes, 11 changes from the side that played at Southampton. So let's just quickly go through that team and then we'll have a chat about what we think. Not that it's a huge surprise, to be fair. Arthur Okonkwo is in goal. The back three, Aaron James, right-sided centre-back, Owen O'Connell on the left, Dan Scarr in the middle. The wing-backs, Ryan Longman and James McLean. In midfield, George Evans in the middle with Elliot Lee and Harry Ashfield either side. And then up front, Ryan Hardy makes his first start for Wrexham alongside Sam Smith. The subs bench for Wrexham is strong. Callum Burton, Lewis Brunt, Ryan Barnett, George Dobson, Libby Kakache, Lewis O'Brien, Josh Windass, Jack Marriott and Ollie Palmer. No huge shock that we've rotated so much. I mean, especially without the Virtue Trophy this year. Squad members don't get games really unless they're actually involved in the league teams.
Yeah, we've seen it over the past few years under Phil Parkinson that he likes to make the wholesale changes, like you say, Mark, and he's done it tonight again. No real surprises at all. I think we were all pretty much predicting the full 11 were going to come out that played on Saturday and obviously did so well in that first league game. And obviously with another huge first home league game on Saturday ahead against West Brom, I think it was really important to rest those boys again after they did ever so well for almost 90 minutes, and we just couldn't quite hold on to it, could we? But obviously exciting to see the ones coming in, particularly Aaron James and Harry Ashfield. Really excited to see. I thought both again had really positive pre-seasons, and two again young lads who we really want to see do well, and this is a really good opportunity for them again tonight.
Yeah, I think conditions would have played a part as well. On Saturday it was warm and they gave everything. Again, it's hot today as well, so why not change the full allow? It also keeps all 11 interested, if you know what I mean. They all get minutes, so they're all fit. It's a chance for Elliot Lee to show what he can do to the manager and don't leave me out again, sort of the idea. So these have all got an opportunity to put something right. One, go and win a game, but go and put on a performance by yourself individually to show the manager that you're still about here and you're ready to go when called upon.
Yeah, absolutely. Personal best at Wrexham for Andy Parkinson, Phil Parkinson. He, in his first season in the League Cup, made 8 changes and we beat Wigan on penalties. At Sheffield United last season, he made 10. He's gone the whole hog today. Hull have made 6 changes. Now, there's a lot to talk about with Hull, which we'll get to as the game's going on, but they've made 6 alterations from the side that did very well at Coventry in drawing 0-0. Coventry, of course, a side who are fancied to challenge to go up, having lost in the semi-finals of the playoffs last season. And the new Hull manager, Sergei Akirovich, really has had a very positive pre-season. Hull have got so many problems off the pitch, and as a consequence of that, an awful lot of media outlets think they're going to go down this season. Personally, I think they look really interesting. They've got a good squad. They put in a good performance on Saturday. They look very well drilled. And they also have got a squad which, rotating here, still has quality, and they've got some key players out injured. Now, I think, yes, we're going to have now a minute's appreciation for the life, of course, of Joey Jones, that great hero. So I'll let Emir Harris take over.
all our teammates and colleagues at this sad time. We'd like to invite all supporters to join us in remembering Joey with a minute silence that will begin and end with the referee's whistle.
Well, we will all miss Joey so much, and it genuinely goes without saying all the things he achieved for this club and in football. But the most important thing, what a lovely man, what a genuinely lovely man. I can't imagine anyone meeting him and not feeling enhanced by having done so. Anyway, back to the much less important matter of football. Yeah, the whole side has 6 changes. Dylan Phillips comes in goal. The defence, 3 out of 4. Cody Drame at right back, Ryan Giles at left back, and the very highly rated skipper Charlie Hughes at centre back. Started on Saturday. John Egan is the player who comes in central defence, such an experienced player. In midfield, John Lundstrom, a real terrific capture as Hull get things underway, knocking it long. He starts with Regan Slater and Casey Palmer ahead of him. And then up front, 3 new faces. Impressive though. Joe Gelhardt on the right, making the first start of this, his second spell on loan at Hull. On the left, a youngster, Nathan Tilsdale, and up front, Ollie McBurney, a terrific signing for them as here's Wrexham with the ball knocked forwards by Scar. It's headed partly away. George Evans as well to help it on, evading Lundstrom's tackle, but Ashfield can't quite get there ahead of Tilsdale. But yeah, Hull, interestingly, certainly making fewer changes than us, and it looks like a strong team to me.
Yeah, very strong. I wasn't too sure how they were going to sort of line up, whether they were going to go for the Phil Parkinson approach of massive change or not so much. Obviously, new managers come in. He's probably just wanting to see this team sort of similar again to Saturday. And like you say, a number of really strong players starting from the off again. You know, you look at the sort of Ollie McBurney obviously coming in, Joe Gelhardt, John Egan, just 2 players there who I think we were sort of linked with over summer. Not sure how much truth was in those rumours. But, you know, should be a really good game to watch.
As James McLean gets a typical how do you do in on Gelhardt, flattening him, pushing the back on the halfway line. No fuss, free kick taken quickly. And now here is Egan.
Well, Wrexham have been utilised quite nicely by a lot of agents in this summer. As a name, you know, they've linked a lot of people, so people obviously think it's a reminder to other clubs that these players are still out there. Obviously, anything with Wrexham in it gets in the news.
Tilsdale has a good run towards the edge of the area, broken up in the end, and Okonkwo gets it clear, but Hull already are looking really controlling in terms of their possession, and as I say, that Drame miss hits a volley and puts it out for a throw.
Yeah, we've been linked with so many players. I think it's only right that because we get headlines all over the place, you're tagging Ryan Reynolds, and every other club in the world sees that your player's available, and so then it puts you on a different pedestal, if you like.
Long ball for Hardy, good tackle comes in on him by Charlie Hughes. Throw to Wrexham by the corner flag, right hand side. Hughes is a quality centre back, he's only 21, there's a lot of interest in him, and ironically the strongest interest has been from their opponents last Saturday, Coventry. The throw-in's taken quickly, Hardy receives, pops it back, cross from Longman, McLean attacks it, good defending that, puts it behind. Well, goal kick given, Wrexham thought it was a corner, but it was very, very good cover, wasn't it, to stop McLean from getting a free header by Lundstrom.
Yeah, and how many times have we seen James McLean do that, just run in at the back post, causes defenders so many problems because they've got eyes on the ball. They just can't check their shoulder in enough time. He just steams on in, and I wasn't sure if it did catch the defender. I think maybe the refs has made the right decision, goal kick, but early signs of danger.
Yeah, definitely looking at the replay. And it was Egan, by the way, getting back and using all that size and experience. As Andy said, a player who was linked with us, and Mia said. I don't really want to think too much about the last time he was here, though, as he scored an equaliser in the 95th minute for Sheffield United, didn't he, in that crazy FA Cup tie.
Yeah, him and McBurney, I think that night were at it, weren't they, with the goals. I remember that game, quite fondly until the last few minutes. It was a great atmosphere that night. The Kairos, just an example of, a really good cup game and what those sort of cup nights can bring.
Well, we've spoke, it's so important, haven't we, before, about wing back to wing back, and he making the extra body in that box. Just seeing the replay there, it's a really good cross again from Ryan Longman. And what McLean does so well is he just reads the flight of it, and he's able to go and see the flight, go and attack it over the top of the fullback, who doesn't really know where he is, but Rama does so well in that position to just ease him out, if you like.
Whole building from deep. Yeah, you're right, Mir, as well. McBurney and Egan top and tailed that game, didn't they? McBurney scored in the 2nd minute, Egan in the 95th. As here is Egan pushing it across to, like I say, the highly rated Hughes. Coventry had bids of 4 and 7 million turned down for him, and then he bid against him on Saturday as Palmer tries to squeeze the ball through. Well handled by Aaron James, who, with Tinsley on his back, runs it through to Okonkwo. And Casey Palmer, the Jamaican international, of course, also has less happy recent FA Cup experience against Wrexham. He was on the Coventry side, of course, that we beat in the FA Cup a couple of seasons ago. Huge kick, and Smith backs in and looks to draw the foul. I think the ref's right not to give it, but as Hughes protests his innocence, Smith nicks it from him, can't quite keep it. Throw by the corner flag to Hull.
Yeah, I'm interested to watch Smith and Hardy today. How they work together, but 2, they came on at the weekend and they just were a little bit behind the pace of it. It was a difficult game to come into, and they just didn't manage to keep the ball as much as we probably were doing with Kiefer Moore up there at the start of the game. So those 2 have got a little bit of a point to prove, and it's also, they put Smith on first. Is Hardy annoyed at that? So does Hardy want to go ahead of him in the pecking order, because obviously Kiefer Moore's going to be out for the weekend, so one of these is more than likely to play.
As Wrexham from the throw win it back, Longman in the end has to go back into midfield because Hull had really crowded the central positions around their penalty area. But Wrexham build once more. Here's Elliot Lee on the left-hand side, clipping a little cute pass inside. Nice return ball by Hardy, and a nice idea by Lee. Smith had just peeled off Hughes, and Lee, I think, was playing the ball more to feet, and that allows Hughes to intercept. But Wrexham are getting back into this game now. As Egan gives it back to the keeper, Phillips. Yes, it is interesting. For me, stylistically, Hardy and Smith look like they might dovetail quite nicely, but I feel Hardy is a sort of striker that needs, I don't see him as an on his own up front striker from what I've seen so far, and I think he was a bit unlucky in the Australian-New Zealand tour that he was playing up front on his own, basically because we had strikers we needed to bring in and a lack of other options as players got injured, so he had to sort of play in that position. But for me, it looks like a player who really attacks the 6-yard box well. As here is Okonkwo, the ball in his hands, long flat kick, and Hardy is after that, but Hughes nods it down. Lundstrom brings it under control in his own half, pops up to Drame, nice little pass into midfield, and Slater is brought down by Lee, who went to ground very early there and clipped him. All right, well, we believe we weren't coming through. Hopefully we are now. As 0-0 here at the racecourse. 7.5 minutes played, and after a good start with the ball by Hull, Wrexham are starting to get into this a bit more. Okonkwo puts too much on his kick though. Egan gets it clear, but Longman high at the pitch puts pressure on Hull, though, moving the ball around nicely. Good ball around the corner by Tisdale, and now Palmer can drive at Evans on the corner of the box. He's carried it well into the D. Good block when the shot comes in by Aaron James. The ball will spin back out again though, and a chance for Hull to deliver once more to the far post. Important header by O'Connell, and Ashfield clears, and Hardy will chase, but it'll carry through to Phillips. They're moving the ball around nicely though, Hull, aren't they?
Yeah, it was a lovely little bit of play by Casey Palmer, but it's O'Connell as well, does really well just to get his body in the way, just throw him off his stride a little bit, and then Dan Scarr and Aaron James as well to get the block in.
Restart it, you know? Yeah.
Just keep going and keep going. So.
Yeah?
Yeah. So, are you put into this?
Yeah, that didn't work. Yeah. So, apologies if we're not coming through, although of course if if we're not, I'm wasting my time apologising. As Wrexham concede a free kick in a dangerous part of the pitch, about 35 yards out. On the left-hand side, a chance for Hull to put something into the danger area. Wrexham once more will have to defend a set piece. Slater has good delivery from set pieces, but he's not on this. As Wrexham leave Hardy up on the halfway line. So Wrexham holding a line on the penalty spot. Ref gives the go-ahead as Palmer leaves it. It's ripped in nastily and headed just wide by McBurney. That was a chance, 6 yards out. Got up between his markers, couldn't hit the target.
Well, it's a great ball in, right in that corridor. Wrexham trying to keep a higher line on the penalty spot, but they're jostling for positions, all of them. And McBurney just sneaks in between two. He gets the first contact, but enough pressure probably from the centre halves of this Wrexham team to just put him off enough that he can't place his header in goal bound, and it just flicks off behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, that was a let off for Wrexham, a player of McBurney's ability in the air. Given a sight of goal like that, as Lee does well against Slater. And now it's Ashfield scrapping away.
Turn it off and log back in as Wrexham-Club, not Wrexham-EFL. She's going through the neutral commentary rather than the commentary. Does that make sense? Switch the whole thing off and re-log in as
Right, we hopefully are on air. I'm so sorry, we've been commentating happily enough. Trouble is, we were commentating on the neutral feed of the Football
It's
League
been the best
setup.
commentary that we've done as well. Such a shame.
It was sensational, wasn't it? I mean, there were people fainting in the stand behind us. It was remarkable. Oh, anyway, hopefully we are with you as Wrexham come forward. It's 0-0. Wrexham having, I would say, settled into this a bit, but Hull have had a threat and had a chance, a free header from McBurney from about 6 yards out. She couldn't quite put on target. But here's Wrexham coming forward with this completely rotated team. Elliott Lee going back to Dan Scarr in the centre circle. And O'Connell, who confidently carries the ball past Hillsdale and plays a good ball into Hardy in the box. Hooks it back looking for Smith, but Hughes is there first to clear. Just wasn't quite accurate enough, that pass. So well read by George Evans. He steps in midfield, wins it back. Ashfield now. Crowd tell him to shoot. He helps it on. Longman now has got his man isolated. Goes round the outside. Rips a great ball in. Brave. Header by Hughes. Ashfield shot is blocked. The crowd shout for handball, but the players don't. And it's cleared, but well, decent strike by Ashfield and quick throw in, and Wrexham put it in again, and it's too hurried. In fact, the referee is going to stop play because the player was hurt out of those ricochets in the box. But wow, that was a half chance for Wrexham at least.
Yeah, really nice couple of moves from Wrexham. Initially, really delicious ball into the box. Long ball over from Owen O'Connell, finds Ryan Hardy really well. I think he's just in two minds, goes for the unselfish option in the end to try and cut it back to Sam Smith, and then Wrexham keep it alive, do really well. And it just falls again, and again, maybe just the wrong option. Few opportunities to shoot. Falls to Harry Ashfield, doesn't quite fancy it. And then Sam Smith, I think it is, or Harry Ashfield again, on that volley, catches it well. Few appeals for handball. I think it might be just too close, even if it does hit his arm. But good few moves by Wrexham.
It looks like it's hit Lundstrom in the face, whether he's got one from the ball or not. But Longman again doing what he does. Doesn't have to beat the man. But what he does do is puts it in that area between arm, when you go to block it as a player, arm and foot to block, and he just puts it in. Ryan Hardy just ahead of it. But then the ball falls to Ashfield. He hits it so sweet. And I think that's Lundstrom feeling the full force of it. I've seen Ashfield now get it twice in that midfield, and if our pass into him is just a little bit firmer, I'd love him to just get it out of his feet and have a go. And I think the whole crowd is urging him to do it. He's in a great space, so if that pass into him is a little bit sharper, he's in a good area to just out of his feet and hit from distance.
Remember the first Port Vale game last season, he came off the bench and he hit a couple of really good shots from that sort of range. He could have done, but he nearly got a chance from close to run, a really good contact. And as it is, so Lundstrom's had his treatment now, he's gone off. He doesn't look great, but he does look like he'll be wanting to come on once that mandatory 30 seconds is over. So throw it. And Wrexham with a temporary one-player advantage. Restart. George Evans, one of a number of players who really has got a lot to prove to the manager here. Has started well. He helps it on. Wrexham in midfield. We almost look to be sportingly moving the ball around till Lundstrom comes back on. There's no real attempt to come forwards. By the way, good to see. On Ask Wrexham, we are definitely back on air. Thank goodness for that. Well, I say back on air. We were on air, just not on
Everybody
a channel.
Everybody else was on the wrong channel.
Exactly. We'll let you off this once, but come on, guys, get on your toes. Long ball forward. Smith helps it on. Ooh, and the ball hits the flag, and for a moment, I thought Longman might have benefited from that, but it has gone for the throw-in.
Well, that first ball over the top from O'Connell, he steps in really well because the pressing. He's the one that steps in, and we know that he's got real ability on the ball. He just picks out Ryan Hardy, just pulling off the centre half. But what we are is we're two for two in the middle of the pitch. Sam Smith and Hardy is right up against the two centre halves of Hull. And what they do is he just pulls off into that gap behind him, and that's certainly somewhere where we can really exploit.
As here's Hardy, lovely take, drills it, keeper parries, and nobody is following in. I say parries, I think he realised there's nobody in the box, but It was great play initially by Evans, who was, I thought, fouled by Palmer. He had 2 men on him, managed to hold on to it. Good ball down the right again by O'Connell, and Hardy. Lovely take, cut in and shot, just 2 straight.
Yeah, it was really good play, wasn't it, by George Evans in the middle. Just almost kept looking like he was going to lose it and kept getting back up and shrugging them all off again. And then Ryan Hardy, I mean, what a touch that is. Just plucks it out of the air, doesn't he? And then you just want him to wrap it round the keeper. He just can't quite do it, straight down his throat.
Now Wrexham win it back again. Early ball by Longman. Smith turns nicely on the edge of the D, spreads it to McLean in space left side the box. Drame comes across. McLean scoops it in cutely, headed towards goal. Easy take. There was no real pace on that cross, and Smith therefore headed it on target from about 8 yards out, but couldn't get any power on it. But Wrexham are starting to ask questions of Hull now as O'Connell gets it well. Wrexham felt that Palmer may have jumped into him. Ref doesn't give the foul. And Hull have it at the back. Yeah, last few minutes we're starting to get back into the game, essentially by being competitive and putting good pressure on in the whole half.
We're getting the ball back really quickly. When we've given it away, we get it back again. Or Hull, and more importantly, they're giving it back to us a little bit cheaper than they were doing at the start.
As on this occasion, O'Connell just overplays, loses the ball. Longman slides in to tackle, but it ricochets unkindly, and McBurney now cuts in, does well to beat his man. Drills a shot, good save, Okonkwo. It was a tight angle, but he stood up well, gets both hands to it, and now Longman is fighting away and wins a free kick by the corner flag. But McBurney there, was it Evans? He just left him for dead then with a little swivel of the hips.
Yeah, I think it's O'Connell. He just sort of sends him the wrong way completely, doesn't he? O'Connell ends up on the floor, and you're just thinking, right, Arthur, stand up tall, and he does. Good shot stopper, we know that. But Ollie McBurney again looking bright, looking quite dangerous when he gets the ball into his feet.
Yeah, it's good strong hands by O'Connell. He has a great surge again through the middle by Evans, who is in the end fouled, or concedes a foul in fact. But Evans really looks to be getting this game by the scruff of the neck, doesn't he?
Well, it's a little bit game on, because we are quite happy for our two... Sorry, just gone across the box and out for a goal kick. We're quite happy to leave Scar up with McBurney, our two wider ones that they're happy to go with. Gelhard, in he goes, and so can Aaron James. And so it is on that transition. Can you make it count? As Hull are with our two strikers, 2 for 2. So it's going to be, if that transition you can get it quickly and into your front true, you've got a chance, because 1v1 with your man.
We're approaching the halfway point in the first half. A very entertaining game. No score yet. Both sides look threatening. Okonkwo with the long kick. Smith gets up, but it's a powerful header clear by Egan. Ashfield gets to the loose ball. Good feet just to hold his man off. That's nice work as he checks back onto his left to retain possession. And now it's O'Connell again driving forwards. Poor pass though. Easily intercepted and fed forwards. Tinslow's ball inside, finds Palmer, who's been carrying the ball really well through the centre of the pitch. Squares it to McBurney. Gelhardt wants it on the right and receives it. Edge of the box, running at James, who looks to show him outside. Tight angle, he fakes the cross, hits it in. It hits a defender's head, Scar, and goes over the bar for a corner. For a horrible moment, it looked like it could have looped into the top corner, but it has gone behind.
Well, the front four are dangerous, aren't they? When they get Palmer dribbling with it, Gelhard dribbling with it. They've got a bit of tricks. They can move the ball really quickly. But the lads have stood up to it so far. This will be a really good test for Aaron James. You know, a player that we potentially were interested in, up against him. Just stick to his job.
So it's an away swinger. Palmer lurks on the corner of the box. Hull don't commit anyone into the goal mouth yet. The referee's not happy with some shoving. And just steps in. Gives the go ahead now. So, away swinger. Giles stands it up to the edge of D, and it's flicked away importantly there, because it was being attacked by Hughes, who does get his fair share of headers in on goal from set pieces. But it's a throw in instead, which will be taken by Drame. About 30 yards out on the right hand side. Drame in short, gets it back from Lundstrom. His pass is inaccurate, though, and well read by Evans. Good first time ball to Hardy. Again, good first touch by him, and Egan takes his legs from under him. Free kick in the halfway line. taken quickly by Lee. That's good thinking. McLean drives forward, Smith ahead of him, but Hull are getting back quicker than Wrexham are getting forward, so sensibly McLean decides to bring it back into midfield, and Hull now got their mid-block as Wrexham move it around in their own half.
Yeah, I think Ryan Hardy started really well in this game, had a few really nice touches, just again showing that ability to just hold his man off, get his body shape in the right position and win those fouls in those areas where Wrexham, so important we win them and get a grip back on this game.
It's a nice idea, switching towards Gelhardt by Slater, but he can't quite find him, throws to Wrexham. After Wrexham tried a diagonal towards Smith, which was won by a prodigious leap by Hughes, and yeah, without Kiefer Moore, we're not going to get, I don't think, much aerial change out of Egan and Hughes. Not criticising the Wrexham strikers, but these two are terrific in the air. Throw in taken, Egan heads it away. McBurney flicks it down, but Scar's got plenty of time to work it back to Arthur Okonkwo. And he helps it across and turns to Longman, a little bit of space, and he gets his head down, accelerates to the halfway line. Having drawn then to him, he plays it back to Ashfield. He's had a bright start inside to George Evans in the centre circle. He keeps it moving. Aaron James to McLean, good movements edge. Yeah, McLean drops a great ball in. Hardy brings it down, cuts it back. Oh, and can't quite beat Egan. Good defending that. Egan was just losing his balance, managed to poke it behind for the corner. But yeah, Hardy's first touch is beautiful.
Well, Hughes had dropped in a bit deeper than Egan, and so the hole was present. It's a lovely first touch, and what he tries to do is just chop it back with his toe. But it's well read on the recovery by Egan and out for a corner.
Corner, left-hand side, Elliot Lee to take it. Wrexham have got one man at the far post, swung beyond there, and it's a free header for Scar back into the goal mouth, hooked away. Will that drop for a throw or a corner? It's a throw by the corner flag, right-hand side. McLean is going to cross, and nobody else really offers, so he throws it into Longman. Longman has to check out. We'll go back to the halfway line. Bright starts by both teams. As Wrexham with Scar, long diagonal, overhits that. Giles sees it through. Yeah, the body language of someone who's going to make an unnecessary header then and give us a corner, but he thought better of it. Remember, you can get in touch with us using the hashtag AskWrexham.
So I've got a couple of observations. The pitch looks absolutely magnificent. Looks like an AstroTurf from up here. It is bowling green type stuff. It looks amazing. If you can't play football on that, there is no excuse, unfortunately. I had a lot of excuses in my career and I blame the pitch a lot of time, but you have got no excuses with this pitch. It looks unbelievable. The height of it, though, as you come into the ground, if you come out the tunnel, you've got a good 2 foot up to where it was last season. The dugouts on the other side of the pitch, they look very close together. So Parky's going to have a few do's, I'm sure, at some point this season. And Charlie in the corner on his sunbed, because it's water and only takes 15 minutes rather than 45.
Well, here's Wrexham in midfield. Get a nice work again by Ashfield. Finds George Evans. Aaron James to McLean. McLean on the left-hand side drives forward. That's good cover that by Gelhardt, though. Gets a foot in. Slater helps. Oh, Lundstrom. Uncharacteristic miscontrol. Smith nicks it from him. And Wrexham have it on the halfway line of Aaron James. Lundstrom, I think, is a cracking player. He hasn't had that much pre-season, though, and I think it was felt that he needs a few more minutes. That was just an uncharacteristic error. Here he is now, looking to put pressure on Ashfield, who clips a great ball down the right-hand side. Hardy gets on the back of his man in the box and wins another corner. He's asking questions.
Yeah, he is. Really good run again. Really lovely pick out by Harry Ashfield this time. And Charlie Hughes in the end does really well just to get the right side of him. Little tug of the shirt, few appeals from the fans. But Ryan Hardy does well, stay on his feet. And Charlie Hughes just manages to get a foot in and has to put it out for the Wrexham corner.
An in-swinger from McLean. Still 0-0 here at the racecourse. 29th minute. Swept in under the bar, and it's a good header. Clear that again by Hughes. Oh well, last touch must have been O'Connell who was attacking it under the bar because offside's given against McLean. Oh, I forgot to say as well, while Andy was saying about the pitch, Phillips, the goalkeeper, was booked for time wasting a bit early in the match for that. I forgot to mention it. I'm not so sure they were really wasting time as much as just being dozy. The referee said, come on, hurry up, and they didn't. So they may be assuming no ref's going to book us for time wasting this early. Well, this guy did. Free kick hit long by the keeper, Phillips, and bounces through. Throw-in free kick given to Wrexham.
Yeah, what these two up front give you is runners. They are absolutely both willing runners. They'll run the channels all day long, so any ball that you're unsure of whether you're able to keep it or not, you can just flip it into the channel and the boys will go and off and run. It's a really great trait to have. They're hard working, and in fact that's something all the players that I've noticed that have been brought in, all of them have got a really high work ethic, and I think that's something that Parky loves.
As Wrexham have it in midfield, the Palmer attack was just curtailed, but when he gets the ball and drives forwards, there's real threat. He has Ashfield find nice space between the lines and sweeps a lovely ball out to the left. McLean takes it on the chest. Aaron James made a nice little underlapping run and Lee finds him left side the box. He's back to goal though and doesn't get his turn in, and now he's got two defenders on him, but McLean makes an offer and he finds him, and now he's Lee edge of the box, beats his man. Can he finish? It's it! Yes! Wrexham score! 1-0 up, and it's Elliot Lee in his 150th Wrexham game who drills it home. It may have taken a deflection, the keeper certainly was unsighted, but credit, big deflection, but credit to Aaron James and McLean for being on the front foot and then working the space so well, and Elliot Lee gets his account underway.
Yeah, and the Hull City defenders, all their eyes are on Aaron James, James McLean, worrying about them, and in behind, Elliot Lee just sees the space in the middle of the park, runs into it, then he just sends his man to the shops, doesn't he, and the shot opens up, and there's, like you say, big deflection, but he won't care. He knows he's got to perform well in these games if he wants to get back close to that starting 11, and they've started really well.
Well, 3 years ago, was it, Elliot Lee turned up, came on as a first half sub in his first game for Wrexham and scored two from that exact position in down this left hand side, and he certainly announced himself again today. That's actually a beautiful goal because the ball was kept, they kept it moving, the triangles between McLean, Aaron James and Elliot Lee was just great, and then it's a really good chop inside. He shapes up to shoot, the player's got to come out, and then he drags it on into his right foot, opens up, yes, he gets a little bit of luck, it goes in off a deflection, but he deserved it off the back of his movement and the disguise he put on that first shot.
As Wrexham win it back again, Ashfield sees there aren't many options and works the ball backwards, and Wrexham a goal to the good. Look, full of the joys of spring here. Ball back to Okonkwo. It's not spring, I know, but it's warm and I'm confused. Okonkwo's kick is poor, out for a throw-in.
And right at the heart of that as well was Harry Ashfield's zing, wasn't it? Just inside the whole half. He's just chopped inside, taken a shot, seen McLean right on the wing, and he hasn't just gone side foot. No, that's not good enough for me. I am going to ping it, and that is just head height straight into McLean's chest. And that's where the move started.
Yeah, it was a lovely ball out there, wasn't it? Gelhardt now, as Hull look to respond. Poor ball by Gelhardt, but ricochets off Smith to Palmer. Lays off to McBurney, edge of the area. Return ball is dangerous, but McLean reads that and intercepts well. Lundstrom is there to keep the pressure on. Cross in from Giles is dummied by McBurney, but is cleared at the far post. And now here's Elliot Lee, good ball. A chance, 2-on-2 break here. Hardy checks his run to stay onside. Smith finds him. Still 2-on-2. Hardy driving edge of the area, looks for Smith. Egan read that well. Took up a good possession, made the pass difficult and nods it back to his keeper. But Wrexham looking really threatening.
Yeah, it was a really difficult ask for the pass over to Smith from Hardy. Not sure the cross was really on at any point. I think he just had to keep going, try and keep possession of the ball there. But again, really good counter from Wrexham.
Yeah, I think when he's 1v1, Smith's run is really good because he takes him out of space, takes the other defender, Egan, away. I'd just have a little go 1v1, try and get a little half yard and have a shot, but he decides to dink it. Doesn't quite get it right, but that's what I was talking about before. If we do get it back in transition, we're 2 for 2. So can we get that slide ball and then get those two bang at the two centre halves?
It's a corner to Hull. Lovely piece of footwork by McBurney to spin on the edge of the area, but Scar stood his ground well and blocked the ball behind. So Palmer with an away swinger. Wrexham with everyone back defending. It's ripped into the 6-yard box and McBurney gets up but is beaten in the air by Scar. It'll come back in again. Drama with outside of his foot. Good ball. Chested down nicely by Palmer, but Lee gets an interception in. And then Wrexham scrapping away. Ashfield gets a tackle in. It's Slater swinging it into the far post, but too much on that goal kick to Wrexham. Quality midfielder Regan Slater, although I find him off-putting because it sounds like a line out of the Sweeney, for those of you who remember that show. Regan Slater. Sounds like some hard-bitten East End cop show. There, I've got that off my chest now. I can get on with my life. Okonkwo with the goal kick. Hull have got a horrible record in cups. I think, is it 2021 last time they won a knockout game? I think. And it's...
Well, hopefully it continues tonight.
Absolutely. Elliot Lee wins the ball back in midfield again. Wrexham's midfield are doing well. After looking a little bit overrun in the opening stages, Hull zipped the ball around nicely. Here's George Evans in his own half. Palmer comes to him. And that makes him go back to Okonkwo. Okonkwo through the middle. Egan with Hardy backing into him. Hardy's done well to get ahead to that, and Smith has done well to win the 50-50, but he's unlucky. Looks at McLean. Drame intercepts well and goes tearing forwards. Gelhardt outside. He feeds him in. Drame's available. Good return ball. Tight angle. Drame drills it in, and it's there. Attacked at the near post by McBurney, who manages to get the touch and flick it beyond Okonkwo. And well, I mean, that was such a quality breakaway there. The timing of the passes. Drame to Gelhardt and back in. It could be an own goal. I think McBurney's certainly made the right run though and attacked it well at the near post.
Yeah, on first look, I think it is McBurney. But like you say, really good move by Drama just on this right-hand side. Just spots that the Sam Smith header isn't going to reach its intended target. Just reads it really well and then just drives, doesn't he? With so much pace on the right-hand side into all that space. And Ollie McBurney, striker's instinct, know where the ball's going to land. Just gets in front of his man Dan Scar and gets that touch.
Yeah, he continues his run, doesn't he, Drama? Like, he reads that, like you said, off Smith's header, giving it cheap, but that's the transition and they're off and running. Plays the ball to Gelhardt and then carries on. And then it's a good ball across. Nothing Scar can do about it. Tries to get in the way. McBurney, like any proper striker, gets across that near post. And rolls in over Okonkwo.
So, Hull pull Wrexham back. Wrexham straight from the kickoff. Here Lundstrom handled it, not given. And now here he is, feeding it backwards. There's a good contingent filling the away end from Hull. And they are making excellent noise as their side now look to build. Slater working it back to Egan on the edge of his area. Yeah, that was just a quality goal. McBurney's first goal since signing in the summer. It was a target a lot of teams were after, and I think maybe a little surprising that it was Hull he chose, but yeah, his first start after coming off the bench on Saturday, and his main contribution was getting involved in a bit of a ruck with Rushworth, the Coventry keeper, which was one of those like James McLean's at Southampton at the end of the game where the ref booked him, and I think that's right. But if he'd sent him off, I think I could have understood it. As the ball's not long, Scar hucks it forwards over his head. Lee is being wrestled. Is that a foul? No. Slater stood strong, and now Drame, the architect of that goal, has it again, feeding it back into his own half. Hull recirculating it around at the back under no real pressure. Egan. As Drame outside him. And Wrexham start to step out in midfield. Will that allow Hull to have some space to pass her into? Well, it's a decent attempt by Ashfield. Palmer let him get a bit close to him. Tries to nick the ball from him, doesn't manage it, and now they can switch it to the right to Drame once more. Gelhardt's outside him, but Wrexham drop back quickly into shape. And Hull again up moving the ball around. It's Giles on the left. Lundstrom dropping back with the centre-backs, making the play. And it's a lengthy spell of possession for Hull. Wrexham having to be patient and stand off. Hull not really getting anywhere at the moment, but they're looking around. Well, they're looking for gaps. There hasn't been much progressive play until now when Hughes surges forward. There's a great ball down the left-hand side. Giles, first time crossed it up to the far post and nodded down by Gelhardt, but Lee is there, loses it on the edge of the area. Luckily, the ball ricochets away from goal and Drame retrieves it on the right, about 35 yards out. Inside to the fulcrum. Lundstrom once more pings it across to Palmer. Wrexham with everyone behind the ball. It's Hughes finding Drame in a bit of space on the right. Gelhardt 30 yards out on the flank now. Again, Wrexham just in that mid-block, just keeping their shape as Hughes comes forwards. Giles has got Palmer going beyond him, but again, Hull are happy to recirculate it. Hughes with a purposeful ball over again to Drame. They keep trying to find him in that little half space. He comes inside when the ball's on the left. Cross comes in. Gelhardt's ball is easily headed clear by Scar, and Hardy's unlucky. He makes space for himself, doesn't stick with him for once. And now Lundstrom again. Hull really controlling possession here. This is hard going for Wrexham, having to keep their concentration. Nice little 1-2. Palmer feeds it into Slater, gets it back, works it across. Drame told to shoot by the Hull fans, works it wide. Gelhardt, corner of the box, being doubled up on. It's rolled back and the cross comes in. It's a nice idea, but it's not got the right shape on it. Okonkwo takes it easily, and I think sensibly doesn't deliver early. Wrexham need a bit of possession. He bowls it to Ashfield. Ashfield over the right to Longman. Ex-Hull player, of course. He works it down a line. Smith on the chase. Hughes again is quick. Gets there. Drills it away. Throw to Wrexham about 25 yards out.
Yeah, it was really good patient play though, wasn't it, by Hull, just keeping the ball, just slowly moving forward, moving that Wrexham line further back towards their goal.
Throw taken. McLean gets up. Good defending by Drame to beat him to it 6 yards out. Nice looping cross. Again, second time in the match, McLean attacking the far post. Beaten in the air by Drame that time. Hull building from the back again. Palmer dropping deep to get a bit of space and clips it on nicely. While the late challenge comes in, free kick to Hull. Slater was Tilsdale was the recipient of it. And George Evans, I think, hurt himself as well as they collided.
Yeah, again though, another chance, another moment where we see James McLean just coming in at our back post. It's Harry Ashfield that time with the cross. Loops it round really well. And just looking at that foul, yeah, I think, like you say, George Evans has caught himself as well. Hopefully that's nothing too serious.
He's limping back, but not too badly into position. Free kick then taken back into the Hull half. But yeah, since their goal, Hull have really controlled the pace of the game, controlled possession. The Wrexham crowd have gone a bit quiet.
Well, it's similar after we scored. You know, we took possession and we were getting Hull were giving us the ball back. It's just flipped the other way now. Hull are comfortable in possession, but Wrexham again happy in that mid-block, just blocking passing lanes and just making it awkward for them to go forward.
Margot points out and asks Wrexham that Paul Mullen has scored a penalty for Wigan in the Cup today. Good stuff. Big diagonal by Hughes looking for Drame, and he's sprinting after that. Can't quite keep it in. McLean knew there was danger and was herring back himself. Goal kick to Wrexham. But McBurney gives a real round of applause to Drame as he trots back. He's having an influence on this game.
Yeah, and Charlie Hughes definitely got that in his locker, hasn't he? Seen a few of them already where he's just plucking them over the top of that Wrexham back line or through the gaps. And Drame, we know he's quick. We've seen that from the goal, but just can't quite reach that one.
I have to apologise and ask Wrexham to ruby slippers. Oh, hang on a sec. Here's Ashfield taking a lovely chest down by Smith, driving forwards. Hasn't got much support though, and in the end he's outnumbered. Important little foot in by Slater. And now Hull will look to build once more from the back. Yeah, she said she's splitting my head trying to figure out which new number is Ollie Palmer on the pitch, and realise, of course, it's Palmer for Hull, isn't it? Not Ollie Palmer. Ollie Palmer is on the bench.
Gone back to his 35 from the first season, his number, yeah. Hardy's taken the number 9 shirt.
Here now is Hull trying to split the defence pass, looking for Giles, but it's well intercepted, and now Wrexham, well, Lee with a poor pass, just popping it back, not under pressure, has misjudged it, throw to Hull over the edge of the area, thrown in quickly. And now Slater once more, back over to the right hand side, gets it back from Drame, pressure on him by Hardy. Wrexham again just keeping their shape in a low block and forcing Hull to go back and switch it to the left hand side. Giles got Palmer making a run, cuts inside. Hull quite happy to move the ball around quite slowly with Wrexham in these sort of shape and just pick their moment to accelerate, as they did when they tried to pick out Drame with that diagonal a couple of minutes ago. As Egan helps her on, Hughes is a ball playing centre back, is quite high up the pitch, helping her on to Palmer, who nicks it inside. Tinsdale works out wide, level of the box. Palmer receives from Giles, who is stretching play, and Palmer again just adroit with the ball to his feet as he drifts inside. Yeah, Wrexham, like I say, having to be patient in defence. Palmer feeds a good ball to feet on the edge of the box. Slater turns, rolls a great ball down the left side, cross comes in, too close to Okonkwo. He takes her at the near post. But again, quality, championship quality, is able to pick their way through.
Well, they're really patient with it. There's two different styles going on today here, because Wrexham, when we do have possession in that final third, our first thought is, can we put it into the box? We've got two strikers up, can we put it in the box? It's completely different for Hull. Hull have only got McBurney up there, and so they're trying to just find a way and a method, so they're loads better at keeping the ball around the edge of that box, just probing, moving people around until that right time comes to roll that player in for that chance to cross the ball.
Quite similar to the Southampton sort of method that we saw on Saturday, where they almost just worn us out, and it got to those last few minutes and you could just see the tired legs of our back line. And it just led to them winning that game, obviously, but sort of similar in the way that not necessarily making loads of chances, Hull, but just able to keep hold of that ball where it matters.
Palmer wins a free kick about 35 yards out. We're into added time. I didn't see how long was added. 3 minutes, thank you, Mia. See, shifting the dugout to the other side of the pitch.
Yeah, I'm used to looking down here.
I keep looking for the scoreboard in the Stoke Cold Brew Coffee end as well.
Correct.
And there's not one there. Not to find out the score, I was vaguely on top of that, but at the time. So, a sort of concerned hubbub in the ground as Hull set themselves up for this free kick. It's a generous decision, possibly. As Palmer seems to be waving his foot quite high, but anyway, here comes the free kick. And it's stood in by Giles to the far post. Free header for Hughes, puts it back across the face, and it just won't quite sit for Tinsdale to try an overhead kick. It's knocked long by Long, but he had no other real option, to be honest. And it goes out for the throw-in, about 10 yards short of the halfway line.
Well, free header around the back. Clear as day. Man's blocked. Then it just didn't fall, did it, for Tinsdale? Thought he might do something acrobatic, throw in the overhead kick, but thankfully Wrexham have got away with it. Surely there can't be more minutes than 3, can there, in this half? Any lengthy delays?
There was the time wasting, I suppose, wasn't there? And wasn't there a stoppage? Yeah, when Evans got knocked, didn't have to get treated, but I suppose they stopped the game for a little bit. Here's a nice play by Gallagher. Works a little one to McBurney, feeds edge here, Tinsdale turn, hits the shot, puts it wide. Shooting chance, and that is the last action of a half, which Hull started well. Wrexham managed to get a grip on and take a lead through Elliot Lee, but Hull responded. A beautifully worked goal by Ollie McBurney, and since then Hull have taken the sting out of the game, dominated possession and taken the noise out of the crowd as well, and as a result it's 1-1, and we have a testing second half ahead of us. And Andy just shook hands with Andy Holt there.
I thought I spotted him before in the game, and I wasn't quite sure because he was facing the other way, but I was correct. Yes, I think it's been quite a good game. You know, some of these games where you make loads of changes, it doesn't quite get going, there's no real flow to it. But it's actually been a good game. Yes, like you said, Hull were the better. First 10 minutes we came into the game, we scored, and then the last 10 minutes Hull have just come into it and then managed to score as well. So it's a good game, pretty much all to play for in this second half.
Yeah, Wrexham have had a few really good moments as well, haven't they? Those McLean headers, couple from the back post, those runs that we've spoke about so often. Hardy, a few couple of chances, and Ashfield as well, obviously a couple of volleys in there too, who's looked really bright on that half turn in particular when he has got on the ball. Just got to hope in this second half, when we do get that ball back, can we just be a little bit sharper, a little bit more clinical, not just try and sharpen it up a little bit on when we do win back that possession. Just a few times towards the end of that first half, I just thought we were a little bit rusty, but I'm sure that's something that Phil Parkinson will be addressing, and we've obviously got a very strong bench again, haven't we, tonight?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of quality for Parkinson to turn to. But yeah, the midfield I thought looked very sharp and promising. George Evans looked like a man with purpose. Ashfield, again, playing another step up in quality in terms of opposition for him, looked very good as well. And Lee was buzzing around, but they were starved of the ball in the last 10 minutes, so we need to get them involved in it more, don't we?
Yeah, well, Mia and I were talking about Harry Ashfield before the game, and what do you do with him this season, because he is so close, but we have obviously got Rathbone and Thomason out injured at the moment, and so if those two come back, they'd obviously be playing ahead of him at the moment. And so do you keep him around and training with those players, or do you just get him out and playing some men's football? It's a really tricky one, really, and obviously the window coming at the end of August, it's a difficult one, really. Man City did it with Foden. They kept him around. They know he's not going out. He's going to train with us regularly, and he will certainly learn from players like Lewis O'Brien and Thomason and all these new boys that are coming in. But I still feel there's nothing like games, and for him, he probably needs maybe a run again. Maybe you keep him till Christmas and then think about maybe the run in at the back end. Maybe get him out on loan if everybody's fit. So, or what you bring in. If they bring in another midfielder, then it's time to go and get some games.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it has to be meaningful, doesn't it? In terms of, you look at it, the way he can shape up against a team like Hull, the way he's very confidently nicking the ball off Lundstrom. He is ready for a good level of football, and you don't want to drop him down to, I don't know, plucking out of the air the National League. I don't think that's any good for him whatsoever. No,
but I think an Oldham that are in the Football League, one of those teams maybe in League 2, top end of League 2, a footballing team, because he'd obviously suit that, would be fine for him to go and play 15, 20 games, whether it's this half of the season or next half of the season, and then take it from there. If he rips it up, he can always come back, do you know what I mean? But I think playing that men's football regularly in a changing room where you're wanted and you're needed, I think that might just help his development that little bit extra.
And then the same question then, Aaron James, who I've always felt, if he was Max Cleworth's age, coming through then, could have had a similar impact. I rate Aaron James, and I think the flexibility, the fact he can play wing back, he can play full back, that's an extra something. He's just come along at the wrong time, perhaps. He looks comfortable here. Last year, he spent the second half of the season on loan in the National League North, which felt way too low for him when I saw he was going there. But having said that, my understanding is he was really enjoying it because he was too good for that level, and he was enjoying the fact that they were looking at him as he's our star player here. It's not just a lad who is going to get some time. He's better than the rest of us, and I think he quite relished that level of responsibility. But, at the moment, maybe we're a centre-back light. I assume we're going to bring in somebody. Or
I agree. You could say Tom O'Connor would be one that would maybe, if he was fit, I think he's got a little knock, but he would play today ahead of Aaron James. Again, I would see, if we bring in another centre-half, I'd certainly loan him out, but it would have to be better than where he's been. He's proved that. He's that level. He would prove, I'm sure, he would get in any League 2 squad and be around it, but why he enjoyed it so much was because he was playing and getting minutes. And if you go somewhere and you ended up sitting on the bench and watching, well, you can do that here, and then you can train regularly with good players. So they definitely need to get that balance right of where they place them, if they do place them, that they go and they play and they do well, and that's that next step. We're talking about Max Cleworth on the weekend, where his development, if you had a plan of the perfect development plan for any player, it would be that. Because he went on loan when he was really young, went and played some men's football, and then his rise has jumped with the rise of the football team, and so he's played National League. And if you're a Premier League team, your player, you'd send them out and you go, oh, go and play National League for a season, see how you go. And he's done that. Go and play League 2, he's done that. Go and play League 1, he's done that. And it's like gone with the steps up. He's managed to play in a lot of games as the steps goes up. So as a plan, it's been perfect for him. And then we've gone now into the Championship, and now can he do that? And from what we saw Saturday, he's more than capable.
And then, of course, I'm just saying this because I want to say this, there was in his developments the Tunnock's Caramel Wafer Scottish Challenge Cup, wasn't there? Which I partly said it because I just want to say that phrase again. But also, I think it did play a small role. It was only, 3 games, but it was him being a senior player, if you will, in a game, proper matches when he was at an early point of his development. And, I remember very clearly, the game at Ibrox, that was a team where Dean Keats' second spell in charge at Wrexham, he did exceptionally well in the first spell to get rid of a lot of players who really weren't enhancing the squad really quickly. In his second spell, the circumstances were more difficult to do that, so he was saddled with a few players a bit longer than he wanted to. And the side that played at Rangers at Ibrox was a mixture of those players, senior players who weren't really cutting the mustard, and young lads. And Cleworth, playing as a defensive midfielder, was absolutely head and shoulders above all the senior players. Like you couldn't imagine. And I just think little things like that, just little points. It's like when we were in the old Welsh Premier Cup, and people like, oh, what's that? Roberts, what was his first name? He came through with that, didn't he?
Couldn't tell you, Mark, to be honest.
Yeah. Neil Wainwright, Mark Cartwright, players who got pitch time in that tournament. And I think Cleworth maybe benefited from that too.
Yeah, and that's again where you come back to sort of this season and you look at suddenly, if we were, obviously we don't want to, but if we were to go out of this competition tonight, we spoke about it before, suddenly you're looking at your next cup competition and it's not till January, and you've got a number of these sort of fringe players, if you like, going, right, well, where am I actually going to get my first team football in terms of minutes? We know there's obviously going to have to be maybe a bit more shuffling about than we've seen in the past few seasons when it comes to league football, just because of how thick and fast the games are coming. The quality of teams are obviously massively improved, and running stats and all this sort of improves massively, and you need to rotate a bit more. But still, I think those sort of players on the fringes, some of those obviously starting tonight and around it tonight, will be thinking, I need game time, and that might not come as often as it has done in the past few seasons when we've utilised competitions like the Virtue Trophy, really well. And that's something particularly for those younger boys, like we say, they need to find if the loan, is the right option. It needs to be the right loan as well. And we spoke a bit about this at Groningen a few weeks ago, Mark, saying about for the young lads, not just necessarily minutes, but also geography, the location, where they are placed in terms of what sort of manager they have, what players they have around them. All these things, hugely come into it and really have a huge impact on their future careers.
Well, when I was coming through here, I was a bit older than those boys were, but I used the Welsh Cup as my first team games, and they were the ones that I looked forward to the most, because I knew I wasn't going to be playing on the Saturday really, but if I got a chance, I'd be playing with Gaz Owen and Carl Connolly, and I'd be out there with those boys, and they were the games I'd be trying to impress in. With the Virtue Trophy, these boys could do that last season, but this year they haven't got that, and so I think however it goes today, it's only going to be another game, one, isn't it, before Christmas maybe. So I think they've really got to think seriously about what they do with these boys.
I think one thing you'd have to say about both of these examples in Aaron James and Harry Ashfield is when they are given their chance, they absolutely relish it, don't they? And I look at someone like Harry Ashfield last season. I think back to that away game in the Cup at Port Vale when he got that goal. You could see in the celebration what it meant to him. A young lad from Wrexham, absolutely adores the club, everything that comes around it. You've heard him speak about it in interviews, just what it means for him to play for his hometown. And you can see it when he plays, he just absolutely loves it. And that's what, every fan in this stadium wants to be able to do. They want to be on that pitch, and he sort of represents one of us. And you can just see it when he plays. So he's got absolutely the right attitude going forward. And, we've just got to hope that, like you say, his development over the next few months, it's so crucial that it is right.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I mean, of course, win this and next round we might get an easy game. Like, I don't know, do Man United come in the second round? I think they do, don't they? Another little bye. We can stroll our way through. I don't know. Yeah, it's I have to quickly now give credit to my wife, Mrs. G, because before the match, when I put the call to action on social media for Arse Wrexham, I said, what film titles will be enhanced by replacing one of the words in the title with the word Hull? And we've had some magnificent responses. I'll give you a selection now. But when I told her, she took it seriously and she nailed it. So great respect to those I'm about to read out, but when you hear hers, you'll see what I mean. Jarvis said it was an open goal to Hull and back. Nice. Nick Ass saying some like it Hull. Jamie, I love this. Jamie Rum Lake. Drag me to Hull. That's good. And from Hull. And Hull Razor. Absolutely on fire. Die Hull with a vengeance and Wrexham all the way. And Rathbone warming blankets. Rather touching. Spider-Man. Far from Hull. Fair enough. I was desperately trying to come up with stuff like Bill and Ted's Hull Adventure.
Hull metal jacket.
Oh, nice. Gee, the Empire Strikes Hull. But Mrs. G, Emma, can I just say, this is why I married you. 10 things I hate about Hull. I mean, you can't argue with that. She seemed more proud of Jurassic Hull. And indeed Harry Potter and the Deathly Hull. But she was rattling them off. It was like watching stand-up, it was unbelievable.
To Jurassic Hull, I was actually thinking Hull Park. I
Hull
went
Park?
the other way round.
Nice. Well, there was one, wasn't there? Some like it Hull, and I was thinking Hull like it hot. And so far they have dealt with the temperature, haven't they? But anyway. And Harry Potter and the Albanian truck stop. Oh no, I might be getting mixed up with something else there, I'm not sure. Sleepless in Hull? Nah. I'll drop that now, I think. I remember you, Andy, putting Hull to the sword at the KC Stadium as well. Those are happy days. Hull did them quite well against Hull there.
Well, yeah, it's funny because in the summer before that season, they were sort of talking to my agent about taking me because I hadn't played much first team football. I've been around it, and it was Taylor, the manager. Peter Taylor was the manager, and I thought, Hull's new stadium, massive, that'd be quite a nice move. But then I stayed, nothing came of it, and then we obviously ended up going and playing them at their place, and I managed to score 2. Keatsy missed a penalty, and it was a good day out, let's put it like that. It was one of my favourite days, that, because I scored a couple of good goals, yeah.
Oh, I must point out as well, Dean Keats playing for Hull then.
Playing for Hull,
yeah.
I scored a penalty. Just tell Keatsy that.
And we've had success with penalties at Hull when we played them in the League Cup. The last time we played them in the League Cup, we had a bit of fun, didn't we? I was impressed by your research when we were talking before the game.
Yeah, I always have a little look. Last time played, little win on penalties, I think, wasn't it? After a 2-2 draw, obviously in regular time. Back in, I think I would have been about 2004.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. So Darren Ferguson scored the second.
Yeah.
I've forgotten who scored the first mark. You're gonna have to remind me.
I'm pretty sure it's Llewellyn. Pretty sure. And then Andy Dibble saved 3 penalties in the shootout. Fair play to him.
Must have been straight at him.
It was a mind trick, Jedi mind trick it was. So, and just a reminder, Mia, I have actually double-checked this. We were talking beforehand. We were all convinced it's straight to penalties, but sort of had a bit of a crisis of confidence. So yes, this game will go straight to penalties. Andy was trying to reassure us, point out that's what happened 2 years ago. We played Wigan, and it went straight to penalties, and we won. So, plenty of football to be played before that eventuality, though, as the teams are out on the pitch. Wrexham kicking now towards the Stoke Cold Brew end in the second half. In our red and shirts, white shorts, red socks, just torn my team sheet in half. Not angrily. Just well, I say incompetently. It's a very competent piece of ripping. Another thing I don't like about these dugouts, I'm sorry, I'm a stick in the mud. People running across the pitch now, we should be starting the game, but instead, it just looks wrong, people going across the pitch. One of Wrexham's subs, I can't see who has got the decency.
Jack Marriott has the decency to run round.
Ollie Palmer straight across.
Yeah. It's all about me.
35 with the bullet. As Wrexham restart, O'Connell drills it long, right-footed, looking for Smith, who backs in. Hughes, another good header. Lee takes it high on his chest and squares it, gets it back from Longman. Lee popping up on the right-hand side of midfield, just for the moment, actually, as after the kick-off. As O'Connell looks to measure the ball down the line, intercepted by Giles, and Ashfield looks to foul him, some not given, and now it's Longman driving into the box, clips to the far post, headed wide. Oh, that should have been a goal for Hardy. Brilliant burst by Longman, and it was a free header, far post 6 yards out, put it wide.
Well, it's a good run, first and foremost. Longman on it, Ashfield on it, doesn't give Lundstrom any time at all. And Longman, I think he's shaping up to just fire it low across the box, but he just lifts it to Hardy's run, who's made a great arcing run into the back post, but he's just a little bit awkward. It's like he's jumping off the wrong foot, and he's just glanced it wide.
He's just been doing everything right, Hardy, and then he gets a moment like that, and he couldn't hit the target. Longman, lovely delivery. Ashfield did very well. It looked like a foul to me, I've got to be honest, on Lundstrom. But anyway, here's Hull now coming forwards. Wrexham got bodies back on the edge of the box, but is spaced over Tinsdale. On his right foot, stands at the far post, headed away firmly by Lee. Smith battling away, won't quite stick under pressure from Lundstrom though. And Hull start again, 35 yards out. Lundstrom pushing it back to the halfway line. Giles now. Longman hassling him. Giles goes down, referee plays advantage. That looked less of a foul than the one he didn't give when Ashfield was challenging Lundstrom, setting up Longman to create that chance. And now here's Phillips, only player on a yellow card for an impressively early time-wasting booking. And now Hull again, like at the end of the last half, just moving it around. Wrexham stepping up the pitch. Can Hull just stretch this Wrexham team, find space to play in? Well, they go long. McBurney backs in. Scar snakes his leg round the side. Palmer tries to latch onto the loose ball. Scar puts good pressure on him, throws to Wrexham.
Well, I think it was 32% possession for us in the first half, 58 to Hull. Again, not really deep in our territory, were they? Well, a lot of it was in that middle third, but you know, we're quite used to not having the ball, aren't we?
Just Hardy handles the ball, maybe a little harsh. It was rather kicked against him, but free kick given. Yeah, well, club record of sorts on Saturday, lowest ever recorded possession by Wrexham in a game, 25%. Although I've got to really put a big codicil on that. Don't trust any possession stats before we came back into the Football League. Trust me, I saw how they were compiled. So when we came back 2 seasons ago, we actually had proper data analysts, and they're accurate. Before then, about 3 seasons in the FA Cup, our FA Cup ties would be accurate, and apart from that, genuinely, it was ex-pros who would phone through stats and at the end would just guess a possession figure. And that genuinely, you know, outside the top level, maybe not that long ago in the top level, that was all those stats you get on BBC's website and all different websites, that's where they came from, just a guess.
Well, they were like Dean Saunders' stats then.
Oh, it's Hardy latching onto a great block. It's still alive. He knocks it down and the keeper can smother that. Wrexham on a corner. Linesman and ref say it didn't go out. Yeah, we'll come back to that in a moment because you're quite right. Dean Saunders was one of the great imaginary mathematicians. Big switch, that's a beautiful ball. Tinsdale, but good work by Longman, gets back quickly to help O'Connell out, and Hull have it back in midfield. Lundstrom, snappy pass inside for the dangerous Palmer. But Wrexham again, through the diligence of Hardy, who caused problems a moment ago, just can't find the space. It's spread to the right. Good, promising looking run by Gelhardt until he runs into the firm challenge of McLean. Back to Aaron James, under pressure in his own area, stays calm, that's good. Works the ball to George Evans, and Wrexham earn the right to pass out from the back. Lee wins a throw-in the end on the halfway line.
Yeah, just looking at that Wrexham chance again, it was a really nice flick on from Sam Smith, and Ryan Hardy again does well, brings it down, and it's brilliant slide tackle from Charlie Hughes again, just getting himself in the way of what you would have thought was going to cause Phillips the whole goalkeeper problems.
Throw down a line is headed clear by Hull, and Aaron James is under pressure here. Great pace by McBurney, but he's pulling James back. Free kick given to Wrexham. Yeah, Dean Saunders was fond of numbers, wasn't he?
We're about 4 games in, and he comes into the changing rooms and goes, that's 412 corners we've had already and got on to the first contact in 2. We're like, 400 corners, have we? Like, I remember about 8.
He was the same. Ooh, that's a bit of a lunging tackle by Drame, but he's won the ball. Lee's challenge means Wrexham have it, though. Lee gets it back, having got up to his feet. Ashfield finds him. And Wrexham on midfield now are getting more possession than they did at the end of the half, although Evans is caught out there by Palmer, who's done well to control loose ball. Looks for McBurney, back to goal, lays it back to Palmer, shot comes in, good save, Okonkwo. Scar intercepted, but just couldn't keep his balance, and McBurney did well to squeeze it back. Lovely instant hit by Palmer, good save, Okonkwo. Corner.
Yeah, it was a good save. Palmer catches it really well. You know, his technique is top quality. I was just thinking when it dropped to McBurney, I thought you could have just maybe looked to his other side, because Tinsdale had a load of space on the left for Hull, but just doesn't see him. But good save, Arthur.
So, corner. Giles will take the away swinger. Again, Wrexham with everybody back. Hull of McBurney on the edge of the 6-yard box. It's swept in over his head, headed clear by Scar, the free man, looking to head ball out and attack that loose ball. Hull work it back over to the left-hand side. Giles down the line. Chance now maybe for Tinsdale on his right foot. Sweeps it in. Dangerously good header, brave header. Wrexham with a free kick. O'Connell got it clear, and there was a collision. It was unintentional. Referee happy for play to continue. And on the right-hand side, Gelhardt with a sweeping cross, easy for Okonkwo. He's only got Hardy up front, the crowd urging him to get players early. I don't think that was on. Maybe it is now, because Smith made a run and seemed to be undetected for a moment. But I think the early one wasn't on. He looks for Smith eventually. Well won by Hughes, stepping across. Wrexham again winning the second ball. Driving run by McLean. He's shoved in the back. Free kick to Wrexham. And a yellow card as well. Maybe a touch harshly, although it was pretty cynical from Gelhardt to just lean into the back of McLean and bowl him over.
Well, if there's anything you can aim at Arthur, it is possibly his distribution off the floor, and his immediate thought when he does get the ball and his decision making. But he's still a young boy, really learning an art where you get better and better with age, as we've seen with Chomp, Danny Ward, etc. coming in. Good experience. So the more games he plays, the better he will get.
Here's Longman from the free kick, sweeping a nice looking cross in, headed away firmly by Egan. Straight back to Longman, who pops it off to O'Connell. O'Connell fakes to go wide, then goes driving forwards. Nice ball, Ashfield, edge of the area. Cuts inside, he's just held up, but he squeezes it wide to Longman. Digs in a first time cross, and it ricochets kindly for Hull off Lundstrom to the goalkeeper Phillips. But yes, it's Okonkwo. You can't help wondering if they're, wanting to have quality delivery to more. There's a factor in Ward getting the nod on Saturday as a big diagonal is well dealt with by Aaron James, who clears it. Drame squares it. Lundstrom instantly works it back to the edge of his area, and Hull start again from the back. Yeah, Dean Saunders was highly entertaining arithmetically and press conference, because he'd come straight in and he'd say, we had 30 shots in the first half and 25 crosses stopped at the near post. So you stand there thinking, that's like a shot every 90 seconds. I don't recall this game in which I felt we underperformed going quite like that.
I think he was using the same sort of statistician as as the non-league.
Yes, that's right, the possession stats, yeah. O'Connell feeds it in, and no foul given, as Lee was quite brave trying to get across Hughes to draw contact. And so Hull have the ball again in their own half. Yeah, we used to have Joe Jacob here, the ex-Chester midfielder, lovely, lovely man. And he did that, and he was very conscientious. But I can also assure you that there were some, ex-pros who were really on the Gavey train as the ball's knocked forwards and Scar hooked it away, and they weren't trying at all. And a number of times in a match you'd hear somebody saying, should we call it 55-45? Yeah. Oh, seriously, that was how it was all done.
Well, with all the analysts that you have these days,
yeah.
I would use a player that wasn't in the team to count corners and count how much possession, how many crosses we got. That was hard work getting them to do it, to be fair.
Yeah. I suppose a player who's not playing as well is liable to maybe underdo ours, to say we haven't got enough thrust going forwards. Get me in the team next week, I'll win you some corners. Wrexham moving it around at the back. O'Connell put under a lot of pressure but got away with it nicely. Plays it long, and Hardy beaten in the end by Hughes. Ball's half cleared, brought down nicely by Gelhardt, who's drifted narrow. Beg your pardon, Slater. McBurney again does that little skip to get past Ashfield and pops it backwards. Tinsdale on his right foot, maybe takes a bit too long to line up the shot, and Evans blocks it easily, but Hull have got a stronghold in the Wrexham half here. The ball pulled back to the halfway line. Hughes rolls it to Egan. Hull fans still making good noise. Still a heck of a long way. There's Hughes once more again, like at the end of the half, they're just slowing things down a bit. Jakirovic, I've seen some people in the media sort of mocking him as if he's lacking experience. I mean, this guy has won a lot of trophies in Eastern Europe. It's not to be sniffed at. McBurney making contact as he backs into Scar, but Scar stands strong. Lundstrom does well to pick up a loose ball ahead of Ashfield. And Hull have it back again, and are they just entering into a little phase like at the end of the first half where they can slow down the pace, control possession, manage the game and look to pick their moment? Happy to move it around again at the back. Palmer, awkward first touch, but he improvises nicely as Lee threatened to nick it from him. Palmer in the end, a little mazy dribble to that touchline. I'm sure he was in complete control of where he was heading there, and Wrexham on the throw.
Yeah, and like you say, Hull just in control of possession, but again, not really causing Wrexham too many issues going forward. You know, in the second half, I've only got sort of one half chance written down for him. So it shows Wrexham's shape's really good, really strong, and able to sit back and just withstand that pressure.
And unlike Saturday, crucially, it's not constant. We are getting the ball back. We are retaining possession better as Ashfield turns to trouble. But as well, he rides Lundstrom's challenge and then he pings the ball out. Doesn't quite get enough on that, but a poor touch by Drame allows McLean to get onto it. And then his touch is heavy. And now it's Gelhardt breaking down the right. Just checks out. Poor ball by him. He's a bit lucky that Slater's in acres of space and is able to pick it up.
Yeah, it's just become a little bit sloppy. Both teams get the ball back, then giving it away cheaply.
On the right-hand side, halfway line, Drame comes narrow, toe pokes towards McBurney. Good defending that on the front foot to nick it away from him by O'Connell. Ball's fed back in and helped round the corner. McBurney on the right-hand side, 30 yards out, put under pressure. Foot comes in and the ball goes back to midfield. Lundstrom, though, again pulling the strings. Put ball forwards by Hughes. And a great ball to Palmer. Chance to hit the first time. Okonkwo saves. Too close to Okonkwo. Palmer, understandably, hit it first time on the turn. Didn't get the direction on it.
Yeah, good half turn and then a little slide pass. Palmer on his weaker side, finding it difficult to get any power on it. Again, another smart save by Okonkwo.
Hull keeping the pressure on. Tinsdale has got Longman on him as he tries to go down the flank, runs it out for a goal kick. Yeah, but this is the sort of period of spell of play. I was quite happy in the first half that, you know, they started doing this about 8 minutes of the half left, and you're thinking, yeah, we'll get to half time, that's okay. But if they do this now with half an hour left and continue to control possession, we could end up in a Southampton situation. We need to break this up, I'd argue. There's Wrexham from the goal kick win a throw-in, half up their own half, left-hand side. McLean to take.
3 players out, warming up. 3 Hull and 3. You've got to look a long way though, Mark. You've got to look a long way over. So trying to pick them out. I think Palmer's one. Marriott makes sense, wouldn't it? The minutes with Smith.
Yeah, you're right. I was looking down in the touch. I don't like this. If I'm used to this by Christmas, I'll be impressed with myself. And he'll now have it back on again. Our building. That's a good ball around the corner is by McBurney. Unlucky, not quite. Throw to Wrexham on the halfway line. It's quickly into Scar. George Evans. O'Connell now. And Wrexham now with Aaron James coming from deep. McLean on the halfway line turns, injects a bit of pace into things, but overhits his pass. Hardy is chasing and forcing a back pass from Egan. Long clearance to the halfway line by Phillips. Aaron James, good header, beats McBurney really well. It's helped on towards Hardy as well to nick it to Smith. Hardy goes beyond him. Smith goes the other way. Ashfield, 25 yards out, shifts feet, left-footed, hits the shot, just wide. That's a good effort. That great break. Hardy and Smith did well. And Ashfield, keeper was diving. He didn't know whether that was going in or not. Good hit by the youngster.
Yeah, great hit. His eyes just lit up, didn't they? He's so good at that little feint, drag back into the space, opens up for him, and you're just thinking it's going to just land straight in that top corner, but just wide. I think there are a few shouting for it on the left-hand side, but he's selfish. I think he probably makes a good decision. It's so close. Unlucky.
I think he deserves to have a shot from there, but also there was just a moment, a split second where Hardy had made a run in. Could he have fed him through? But it was a split second. Then once he's missed that opportunity, really good drag back, like Mears says, onto his left foot, and it's just fading away from that top corner. It just takes it out of that top corner and just wide.
It was not far off, was it? It was whistling just wide of the top right corner as Hull make a double change. So Matt Crooks comes on in midfield, very experienced midfielder who actually played quite advanced at times on Saturday. And also Joel Ndala on loan from Man City. Off come Tinsdale and Gelhart. Oh, I'm very pardon, there's Slater who came off actually. Anyway, Crooks, another very big figure. He's huge. He's making a run now through the middle of the pitch. Hull's switch to the left-hand side to Giles. And Ndala on loan from Man City. Quality wide player. Long ball looking for McBurney in the box, and Scar decides to block him off. They come together.
That's lovely, wasn't it? Nice little
Yeah.
cutch on the floor.
Cutch, yeah. Like the one he gave Coventry's keeper on Saturday. Before he threw him in the air. Nothing comes of it, just a lovely little moment as Okonkwo knocks it long. Huge kick that. Hardy fighting for it, well won by Egan. And a backwards header by Lundstrom has to be rescued by Phillips, the keeper, to make sure it doesn't go out for a corner. She does successfully. So, 64th minute. Still 0-0. Scar wins a header against McBurney, and then Palmer commits a foul in the middle of the pitch, tripping Ashfield. Free kick.
A change. Instead of an A4 sheet for the attendance, we've got a nice slip of paper now.
It's lovely, isn't it? Tell you what, very
championship
compact
stuff, isn't it? It's championship stuff.
10,107 is the crowd. As you could remember, we had three-sided. That's terrific. 1,111 away fans. As a kind drop, ball drops to Lee. Oh, the referee has stopped play because the whole player's hurt when Wrexham are in a fantastic position. Is it Crooks? Well, Palmer went right through the back of his man. The ref, I thought, had played a good advantage. And the ball fell to Lee. There was a collision off the ball in the middle of the pitch. Lee was driving to the edge of the D. He had McLean marked in the corner of the box, and while the referee, I think, thinks that Crooks has a head injury, he may well be right, to be fair. Yeah, in which case, he's right to stop play.
Yeah, I agree. The physios ran straight over and checked his head, so you'd think it is the right decision as as frustrating as it might be from a Wrexham point of view, when we've got that space and break away, you've got to make those decisions in those sort of moments. Just watching it again, I think it's just a collision, isn't it? I think his head just goes into Sam Smith, so you can see why he's blown. But yeah, frustrating one for Wrexham. But obviously, hope Crooks is okay as well.
Yeah, they're cheating him now, and yeah, it was 100% the correct decision. Even though Wrexham were in a fantastic position, with Lee in a position where he could shoot up at McLean around the back. McLean wasn't happy with the ref, but I'm sure when he realises that Crooks has taken a whack to the head, then he'll understand. Still being treated, Crooks. It's Wrexham, well, we're getting to the point now where no doubt Phil Parkinson will be thinking about changes. Obviously, as you said, Andy, Sam Smith, who only got an hour in pre-season, he's done well, but probably hasn't got 90 minutes in him just yet. And does Wrexham have attacking options on the bench?
So Palmer's stripped. I think that's Marriott as well. Strippers, that would be the front two. And
Hardy did have a knock in pre-seasons, but did get minutes in.
Yep.
I assume his race is run if those two are coming on.
It's good eyesight, that, Andy. Got to give you credit for that one.
I got no chance. Tell you what.
Yeah, but I can't read what's on my sheet of paper in front of me.
Dave Chilcott about that shot by Ashfield said Harry was almost a wizard. I like that, very good. He's obviously thinking back to them. Was it Harry Potter and the Albanian truck stop? Yeah, that was a great effort. Got lots of love on Ask Wrexham from that. As Ken Priest says, if close scored points. Yeah, exactly. Crooks still being treated. And yeah, most players having gone across to the bench are back in the middle of the pitch.
Welcome to the game. Crooks,
yeah,
wasn't it?
Exactly.
Jog on, get hit in the face by somebody else's head.
Well, he's up now, thankfully.
Maybe Barnett, because I think they took a choice on the weekend ahead of Longman because he had a little niggle. So maybe it is sort of just not cotton wool, but just sensible. They need as much depth this season. They just need everybody fit. If everybody's fit and gunning, then they've got a chance.
That Longman-Barnett debate is going to happen again, I think, though, this season, isn't
And
it? I thought Barnett did really well on Saturday. I think a few of us obviously predicting the lineups ahead of the Southampton game sort of had Longman in ahead of him, but I thought Barnett did ever so well. It's going to be difficult for him to now come out.
So here come the changes. Sorry, go on.
Windass for Ashfield.
Another ex-Hull player coming on. Smith comes off. Palmer comes on. Longman, as he said, will be replaced by Ryan Barnett. And now we're going to see Marriott. Yep, on he comes for Hardy, does he?
Yep.
Feels like pre-season again, where they end up changing all 11.
So, I'll make that 4.
Agree, yes. I'm really unhappy about 9 subs as well. My
Yes.
piece of paper, I can't house enough writing. It's all a bit messy.
It's wrong, isn't it?
It's just not, it's out of order.
I'm looking across that dugout and asking myself, are there enough seats for 9 subs plus coaching staff? It looks like a tight squeeze to me. Admittedly, some people are standing up, but...
Well, bless them, in the middle, there's just 1 seat for the 4th official. Like, why would you want to
exactly.
just sit there, of all places?
Nice footwork by McLean on the restart. The ball round the corner. Doesn't find its target, and Hull are able to pick the ball up. So that's some talent coming on the pitch there. Like I said, Windass is making his home debut against his old team. Scar fighting away with McBurney, and in the end he does well to get a foot in. The ball spins for a throw to Hull, 10 yards into Wrexham's half. I have to tell Mrs. G. Jarvis says 10 things I hate about Hull is genius. Ruby Slippers then replies, and they're all McBurney. Anyway. Yeah, the coming together we didn't mention with George Evans in the first half as well. Evans wasn't very impressed. As Crooks is back on the pitch as well, good to see. Ball fed forwards. Diagonal by Lundstrom is a good idea. There's danger here as the ball drops in the box and squared, and Palmer is denied by an unbelievable save by Okonkwo. We have goal line technology. Are they celebrating a goal? Yeah, it is in. Wow. Did that bounce out of the net then?
Well, the goal type it is, the sort of bars go all the way round and they're flat, so it's just absolutely whacked it on the back post, if you like, and gone straight back out again, causing the confusion of a few in the ground. But the whole players certainly know. I think it was Ndala, was it? But how easy was that, really?
Well, I mean, it was a lovely break, lovely diagonal then. The square, Palmer shouldn't miss from there. He didn't. Like I say, the Hull fans didn't realise for ages that they'd scored. It came out so quickly. And I'm not sure that all the players did either. There was their celebrations. It was lovely ball then. And yeah, he's drilled it in. Like you said, it's hit the bar at the bottom and flown straight back out again. No chance for Okonkwo.
Yeah, the diagonal's just dropped in over the top of Aaron James in between McLean. It's just very, very simple, isn't it?
Wrexham concede a free kick on the edge of the Hull area once they go forwards. So Wrexham behind. But yeah, the diagonal was perfect. The square pass then, teeing it up, and Palmer slots it home. And Wrexham are behind. Hughes now on the edge of his area. 18.5 minutes left. Here is Palmer turning and flicking it beyond his man. He skins lead nicely, driving forwards, helps it on. Good foot in that by James to stop the forward progress. And Wrexham look to come forwards. McLean makes contact but can't keep possession. Lee tackles to win it back. Yeah, Gelhardt it was who squared it. And now Wrexham on the left-hand side. McLean loses it. Hull, we've seen, are good at controlling possession. They've got a lead to protect now. That's helped on nicely by Gelhardt. McBurney helps it back towards him. Looked like he was fouled by Scar. Nothing given. And now Wrexham build out from the back with O'Connell. The Hull fans making all the noise. And before those 4 changes could settle, Wrexham find themselves behind. Windass is playing in midfield, drops off to receive and turns it around the corner. Barnett with a bit of space to attack. Crosses the halfway line. And Darla slows him up. Evans now. Back to O'Connell, who threads a nice ball between the lines. Marriott gets his half turning, works it wide. Barnett has Windass bursting down outside him. Windass now. Only as a man at the far post, he rips it in and he picks out McLean at the far post, who stands it back in, takes a deflection, loops awkwardly, but the keeper backpedaling, catches it comfortably in the end under his bar. Sort of deflection that can just beat a keeper, but it took a bit too much pace out of it.
Yeah, it was a nice ball in from Josh Windass though, wasn't it? It just finds James McLean at that back post, and like you say, the deflection took everything, all the sting out of it, made it really easy for Phillips.
And then down the left-hand side, Wrexham get it back. Palmer does well to beat his man. Was it handball? He gets a corner. Marriott thought it was handball as Egan went to ground. I think it was just outside the box on the flank. Good work that by Palmer, who just nicked it ahead of the centre-back. And, well, it is handball, but outside the box. And he was falling in his arms, and the ref's right not to give it. Corner taken short. Evans squaring it. Windass 25 yards out, drills a shot, it's blocked, spins out to Marriott, tight angle, pulls it again, and it's the side netting. Corner. Keeper managed to come out a long way from his posts and block that, but good pressure this now from Wrexham, trying to get back into it. So corner swept into the far post. Keeper struggling to get there. Defender gets up, heads it behind for the corner on the right hand side. Constant pressure this It's a corner which McLean will take, an in-swinger. Marriott is on the keeper. Everyone back for Hull. Furthest Wrexham players out are only 25 yards out. McLean then steps up, sweeps it to the far post with pace. Good header clear. It's Windass retrieving it. Nice first touch to take him forwards. Nice ball inside. And Palmer tries. O'Connell rather. Just forgot for a moment he was Owen O'Connell. Tried to curl one in, a worldie from the corner of the box. And then reality is home hard.
Well, it's a great first touch, little drag. And then whether it's a shot or a cross, I'm not too sure. But comfortably over the bar.
Hull making a couple more changes. McBurney is coming off. Scored the first goal, of course. Great round of applause for him. Kamara is coming on. Attacking wide player. And also there's a direct change up front. Kyle Joseph on for McBurney. So Gelhardt off as well. It's 2 straight swaps. Good header from the goal. Restarts by Scar. Ball comes back in, and this time O'Connell takes over, and that's a good header to find McLean on the left. McLean has got the 2 strikers running ahead of him. So it's probably sensible to keep the ball rather than try and hit them, and James then goes forwards a bit too early perhaps. Although having said that, Marriott as well to create a loose ball. Egan launches it over the top and it goes all the way through to Okonkwo. 14 minutes left. Wrexham trailing 2-1. O'Connell has got Barnett available. Feeds it into midfield. Evans takes a touch. Looks long over the top. That's a great idea looking for Windass, but he's put too much air on that. And Hughes alongside Lundstrom tidies it up nicely. Lundstrom now. Tries a trick and he's tackled well by Windass. Feeds it into the box. Danger here. Ball laid off to Marriott, but behind him. And it's half cleared. Palmer received it in the box. I don't think Marriott expected the pass, and it wasn't really perfect for him. He couldn't take it in his stride.
Well, I don't think Palmer realised how much space he's in. He's turned and he just shifts it onto his right foot. He's got a shot off, but he's looking to set. And Marriott just doesn't quite get off the front of him quick enough.
Here now on the right, for the first time, is Kamara pulling it back into midfield. Under pressure, Lundstrom has to work it to the halfway line. The ball switched quickly across. Giles knocking it down the left flank. And Ndala slows things down, 25 yards out, back to Casey Palmer. And again, Hull are happy here with Wrexham all in their own half to just move it around slowly. And draw Wrexham out. Hughes with a diagonal once more. It's over McLean's head and it's been kept in, is it? No, not quite by Kamara. Good effort by him. Throw to Wrexham. And here comes Wrexham's final change. Elliot Lee gets a good round of applause. And on comes Lewis O'Brien.
I think it's Aaron James that's gone off.
Oh, is it? Beg your pardon. Oh, right. So it's the old-fashioned.
So just changed to 4, go to a diamond probably. I would have thought Windass in behind the front 2.
Of course, Wrexham Parkinson likes this, doesn't he? Going forward at the back, committing an extra man forwards.
Well, Aaron James has done himself no harm whatsoever. He's done really well. Just that one moment for the second goal. Was he ready? It's just dropped in between him and McLean.
Akin for Mabel's come on as well for Hughes at centre back for Hull. As Hull again claim it back, and it's a good foot in by George Evans, but Casey Palmer still rolls and feeds a nice ball in. Joseph's shot is well blocked by O'Connell. And now Wrexham with McLean under pressure digs out a good ball down the line. It's held up well, but the pass is a bit hot from Palmer and O'Brien can't quite take it in his stride. On the left hand side, it's a little give and go by Giles. Ndala changes direction nicely. Lovely dribbling by him through the middle of the pitch. Still got Giles out wide, manipulates the ball nicely with his right foot and then slows things down. And Hull have it once more as their fans start to applaud the passing. Barnett, good tackle. Lifts it forwards a bit early though. Palmer won't get there. It's smashed clear. And by Lundstrom, Casey Palmer gets a lucky ricochet off Evans. And they'll come forwards once more. And Hull again, as Wrexham's midfield drop off, are very happy just to move it around in midfield.
Yeah, we've just done that a couple of times where we've won it back and we're just a little bit too deep to beat that direct that quickly. Just can we hold on to it for a few more seconds and work our way up the pitch?
Cross into the Wrexham box, crucial header by O'Connell. As Joseph is lurking, lots of time for Casey Palmer, running down the goal mouth into the box, tries to feed it in, and he hits it across the face, and that's 3, and that's a peculiar goal. He tried to drive it in, it was blocked, it hit him, and so he tried desperately to stop it going out for the goal kick, and hooked it across the face. Wrexham were caught out, and it was knocked in at the far post. Was it Joseph who got the final touch? Or Crooks, actually, I think. Yep. Yeah. And Wrexham in trouble now.
Yeah, I think Joseph does get a touch just before him, and I think that's what sort of kids Arthur Okonkwo, who's just expecting it to come to him, really, or to a defender to clear it. So obviously a bit of confusion. I think a few might have thought it had gone out already. But Hull keep it alive, and they're first to it, 3-1.
Well, it's the ricochet that takes everybody by surprise because they don't really know where it is. And then they think it's gone out for a corner. They think they've done enough. And then it's just put right across the goal. It's a simple tap-in for Crooks.
So, Elliot Lee feeding it down the line. Nice ball around the corner by Barnett. Palmer battles. Barnett's done well to attack the loose ball, but Giles is strong. And it's cleared for a throw to Wrexham. 25 yards out, right-hand side. Well, we have the setup to take risks now, but it's going to take something monumental to pull us back into this, as we haven't really created that many chances in the second half. Throw-in comes to nothing. Marriott tries to help her on, goes behind for the goal kick. 82nd minute. But then, Phil Parkinson needs to give games to players and recognises the risk in doing so. As the goal kick will be taken by Phillips. On a yellow card, of course, so he's not going to take his time over it. Hits it through the middle. Scar against Joseph. Joseph pushes him. Free kick to Wrexham in the centre of the Wrexham half. And Wrexham are looking down the barrel of taking the lead in both games so far this season and ending up with nothing. O'Connell's pass out wide. Ollie Palmer goes down. Doesn't get the free kick though. And Hull have it back on the edge of their area. It's Femewa losing it across to Giles. Again, the Hull fans cheering every pass as Lundstrom goes back to Phillips. Windass is chasing. Phillips rather cutely feeds us at the feet of Crooks on the edge of his area. A nice touch by Casey Palmer, and Dalla takes it and drives forwards through the middle. He's got Kamara to his right. He's got to the edge area, feeds in. Kamara on his left foot, slots it, but he's offside. And Dalla, though, he was one of the outstanding players in the under 17 World Cup a couple of years ago for England. And wow, he's so smooth, isn't he, carrying the ball? Lovely, quick feet.
Yeah, again, though, it's quite simple for Hull to just keep hold of it, and then Ndala just spots that space in the middle of the park. And he's got the pace, he's got the ball carrying ability to just drive into it. And Wrexham just caught a bit short again, get away with one.
Here's Windass in midfield, turning, squeezing the ball forwards. O'Brien does really well to spin away from his man and play it down the left-hand side. Just too much on that for Marriott. Crunching tackle comes in. Hughes, who's such the right-sided centre-back position now. After Famewa came on, McLean is beaten on the flank again. Casey Palmer, who has been so impressive, lays the ball off, and then a pass into his path by Joseph doesn't quite find him. Throw to Wrexham.
But all the front four, even when McBurney's on a focal point, all 3 and 4 around them, they've got really good pace and really good movement with the ball. They just move it and go and carry on their runs. Very, very fluid. It is something that the Wrexham team is pace. in this team. And you know, when they do get the transitions and they do get behind us a little bit, have we got that pace to get back in to try and stop these teams breaking and countering on us?
O'Connell clips it forwards. I've got a question coming off that in a moment, but let's see, is whenever Undala has the ball, I feel I need to focus on the action. Actually, Hull moving it around at the back now. Does having a lot of new players and important players coming in at the end of the transfer window maybe mean that it'll take a couple of weeks before we're totally sorted off the ball, perhaps?
Yes, I think so.
As Undala can't get away from Windass in the end, but Hull still keep the ball.
Yeah, not having them on tour will certainly take a little bit longer for them to gel, understand, because it's only been a matter of a couple of weeks, hasn't it, since most of the new players have come in. It is certainly going to take time, and they're still looking to bring in more, so it's going to take even more time. They've just got to get to grips with it as soon as they can.
At the back, it's a long kick over the top of Wrexham's defence. O'Connell backpedaling, nods it down. Evans sidesteps Casey Palmer and helps it onto the right hand side. Here's Barnett now. Not many options. Lee is offering and receives it. He's playing on the right side of the diamond, helps on quickly to O'Brien, and he shifts it quickly over again to McLean, who helps it on first time. That's nice. Windass, cute return ball. McLean sets himself, stands it up. Palmer attacks it. Good defensive header. Lee drives it. Oh, and it's deflected over. That was a good strike. It's on target, and a crucial contact by Giles in front of his keeper to deflect it over for the corner.
Yeah, really nice play by Wrexham. Just inject that bit of pace. Gets fizzed into James McLean out wide. Has a really nice touch actually to keep it alive. And then it just falls, doesn't it? I'm not sure if Palmer and Marriott initially on the cross actually got in each other's way a bit. But falls to Elliot Lee, connects really well. But good defending to get bodies in the way from Hull.
McLean's corner has got a lot of height and distance on it. It's gone beyond everybody, and out for a throw in 10 yards out. Got too much on that. And frustration for Wrexham. There's that tiny window opportunity just opened up for us. But yeah, O'Brien pinged it across to McLean. It was a cute little touch inside. And a vicious cross in. And when a rebound came out, Lee struck it cleanly.
Well, we are creating chances, haven't we? Today we've created chances. Saturday we created chances. Haven't been able to take them.
Here's Palmer coming forwards. Joseph knows he's offside and can't receive it, and O'Connell is lucky there as he knocked it against Kamara. O'Connell's on the edge of a 6-yard box. He's put it out in the end for a throw, level edge of Wrexham box. So it'll be taken by Drame. Gets it back, pops it into midfield. 2.5 minutes left. Wrexham 3-1 down to Hull. And on the halfway line now is Hull again. Control possession really well. It's helped on to Undala. Barnett closing down the space. He's penalised. He's not happy with the ref. And I think the ref gives it a free kick as much because Undala stops and insists he gives it. Wasn't a huge amount of contact by Barnett. Free kick then. Halfway line, left-hand side. Pinged across by Famewa to Kamara. He's got Drame in overlap and feeds him in. Good ball into the near post. Well read by Scar, who volleys it clear. Barnett is chasing after that, but the pace of Kamara wins it back. And now Hull once more can have a spell of possession into the last 2 minutes of 90. As Giles receives it on the halfway line, left-hand side. Dinks over the top, looking for Undala. Well read by Barnett. Heads it out for a throw. 25 yards out from the Wrexham goal, left-hand side. Giles has got movement from Joseph. He's in no rush to take it. Wouldn't have thought it was going to be a huge amount of time added on. Oh no, there was a stoppage for Crooks' injury. There could be a 4 or so. It was good tackle by George Evans on Casey Palmer. Now Wrexham break. Windass has looked dangerous since he's come on. Palmer is ahead of him, not much else. Feeds a good ball to Palmer, back to goal edge of the area. Palmer holds it up, gets his feet rather tangled up, but Windass helps out, squares it. Evans 25 yards out on his right foot. Hull got back now though. Barnett on the right has managed to isolate Giles. Can he get a cross in? Yes, he can. Good balls to the far post. McLean gets up well, but mistimes the jump. Seemed to head it almost onto his own shoulder and well wide for the goal kick. Good to see Barnett able to deliver up against a quality fullback like Giles, though.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing in that position, doesn't he, Ryan Barnett? It doesn't matter who's up against him. He always just seems to find that little bit of space to dig out the cross. But just on the counter, we just had to slow it down, didn't we? And it just allowed Hull to get back in. Ollie Palmer just couldn't quite sort his feet out in time to just try and get at Hull's defence that was on its way retreating back.
Goal kick headed clear by Scar. McLean keeps it in by launching it over the top. Marriott backing into Famewa, does really well. Knocks it back to Palmer, who can't quite bring it down, but it ricochets kindly for Wrexham. Windass on the left now has got McLean outside him, cuts inside instead, gets to the edge of the box. Drame sticks to him well, and it's fed over to the left hand side. Now then, McLean, left footed cross. Palmer jumps, heads it and scores! Ollie Palmer plants it inside the right post. McLean ripped that lovely cross in, and Palmer rose typically and heads it. Keeper couldn't reach it, and Wrexham now can chase this game.
Yeah, 8 added minutes.
8, wow.
Wrexham, opportunity calls. Ollie Palmer though, that's vintage Palmer, isn't it? That's what he's so good at in the air. He's such a threat. It's a great ball in from James McLean. Just picks him out perfectly. Ollie Palmer, eyes on it. Keeper no chance.
Just uses the pace of the cross. It's such a good cross from McLean. As a striker, all you have to do is redirect, and that's exactly what Ollie Palmer does. He's brilliant at that back post and heads it, glances it past the keeper.
It's not just every inch of that big frame, it's all that experience of Palmer as well. He really did well to control that. It looked too high for him. Barnett wins it well on the halfway line, driving forwards. 2 strikers in the middle, players coming to support. That's good defending by Hughes, but Barnett delivers. Oh! Wrexham strike back. Sensational. Brilliant play by Barnett, and Palmer again with a downward header. Barnett was brilliant. He won it from Casey Palmer, who wanted the free kick. He didn't get it, and Ollie Palmer, free header at the far post, picked out perfectly, heads it home. And wow, Ollie Palmer double quick fire headers, and we're in this again.
We absolutely are. Ollie Palmer saying he's not quite done here yet. He's still alive and kicking at the Kairas. And so are Wrexham right back in this game. A few fans heading towards the exits, while they're heading back towards their seats now.
I'll say, I didn't even have time to say game on between goals.
Well, from nothing, isn't it? First of all, McLean rips it in, and Ollie Palmer at the back post, and then tails her up. Is there a free kick in there? I don't care, because we've carried on. Barnett struggling to get that inch he needed to get it up and over and out to that back post where he knew Palmer would be.
And now Lewis O'Brien with a fabulous run. He plays it long and the referee pulls it back for a foul. He was tripped about 3 times. Yellow cards come out there for one of the whole players. But what a run by O'Brien. Just dancing through the whole midfield. And yeah.
Well, just go Barney on this right hand side. Lundstrom was right on him. Wasn't letting him go anywhere. And just Barney finds a way. Threads it through an eye of a needle, hangs it up there, and Ollie Palmer must have been licking his lips at that back post. Bring it on, head it down under the keeper. Love it.
McLean stands it up, Palmer jumps, wins the header. It'll go through to the keeper. Palmer now, I mean, who's going to beat him in the air now? He's just winning everything. Wowee. So Ndala now on the left hand side. The atmosphere obviously has changed a lot. Wrexham fans were really crestfallen. As you said, a lot of players left. Hang on, here's O'Brien. Forwards to Palmer, who spins on the edge of the D. Marriott nicks it to O'Brien. Helps it on wide. Marriott left hand side. 3 players in the box. Oh, and man, I'm not sure what that was, except a goal kick. Whether he lost his fussing there, he just drilled it into the crowd. But yeah, the whole fans were loving winding Wrexham up. And
well, if you're walking outside along the Mould Road, unlucky.
Or with no cop, maybe you can just about see what's happening. I don't know. Wowee. 3-3 here at the racecourse. We've still got another 4 minutes left of added time. George Evans helps it on. Clear by Hughes. It was Lundstrom, by the way, who was booked for taking O'Brien out.
Well, 89 minutes, the game was done. You know, I couldn't see any way that Hull were very comfortable in possession, but it's moments, isn't it? Moments in these games, and it's going to be that for the next 45 league games.
Wow.
Can change so quickly. Wrexham's tails are up. Suddenly.
Here's Hull coming forwards for the first time since it was 3-1. Crooks down the line. Drame accelerates. Good work by McLean. Gets the block in. And lovely work in midfield again. O'Brien nicks past Crooks. Surges forward. Plays it down the flank for Marriott, who doesn't quite take it in his stride. That allows Hughes to come across and work it back to his keeper. Whew. Exhausting, this. Long ball. Headed away by Scar. And then Evans gives it straight to Kamara, driving towards the edge of the box, left-footed shot, curls it! Oh, just wide! In fact, I think Okonkwo might have just got his fingertips. It's a corner. It was a poor header by Evans, straight to Kamara, and I think he may have saved that, in which case it would be a heck of a save.
It was a similar header, wasn't it, to the first half, which Sam Smith made, that got took by Drama and ended up in a goal. Very, very nearly happened the same.
Yeah, left-footed curler by Kamara. Not sure if it's a good nick off a defender or Okonkwo, but anyway, here is the corner. Giles swings it in, and it skids off the head of Crooks and is picked up on the left by Windass, who launches it long. Knowing Windass, you just wonder whether that was a shot from 15 yards in the Wrexham half. Anyway, he's knocked it through to Phillips, and Hull can come forwards again into the last 2 minutes of added time. Phillips back on the edge of the area. There's the ball picked up by Famewa. Giles available on the left. Wrexham very narrow, of course, in this diamond shape, and he's got space, rolls it down. There's too much room there. Barnett stepped up, no one covered behind, and Wrexham lucky that the flag goes up against Ndala.
Yeah, looked quite tight for me from this angle. It's always difficult to tell those sort of ones, but Barnett stepped. I wasn't sure if O'Connell and Scar actually did. I think they might just be offside. Good decision, Lino, but took a risk, didn't he?
Looking at the replay, I thought O'Connell did. I don't think Scar did, and I think that was exceptionally tight. Woof. Ball knocked long by Okonkwo, and Palmer creates a nuisance of himself. Marriott can't quite onto the loose ball. Hughes launches it clear. Scar accelerates and volleys it into the dugouts for a throw-in on the halfway line, right-hand side. Throw which will be taken by Drame. We are into pretty much the last 30 seconds of this wild ride. Short throw.
We don't expect anything different, do we?
True. Ball fed forwards, intercepted by O'Connell, who squares it. Now then, not many options for Barnett. He looks down the right and then realises, oh yeah, there's nobody wide. Long clearance, one last chance for Wrexham. Palmer beaten well in the AI by Famewa. The refs will add on time for 2 goals, of course, to the 8. Marriott's unlucky, gets stuck under his foot, can't quite get there. O'Brien, who has made such an impact in the short time he's been on, chases, and that is it. We are going to penalties. That was something. Wrexham draw 3-3, and now the players will go across to get instruction from the dugout. If you win the toss for ends and you're Hull, what do you do? Because on the one hand you don't want you at the Wrexham end, but on the other hand the Hull fans are down there too.
Yeah, well, Peterborough did it. If you remember, they did it at the end with there were no fans at that time. Yeah, you'd have to go that end.
Yeah, Cop end.
Despite being far away from your own fans too.
So, wow. The 2 teams now in front of those dugouts, working out what's going to happen. You see Phil Parkinson's there on his paperwork. Ian Davidson. Well, his research plays a big role now. course, Wrexham, Dean Windass had a penalty on Saturday. And wow, but what a wild ride, and I guess, you know, although again you look at Hull and just like Southampton, you see that step up in quality. A positive for Wrexham is we have completely rotated. Hull have half rotated. I mean, it's good to see our squad players being able to do that.
And that belief that you just keep going and you just never know, that is inbred in the core of this football team and has been for the last 4 years. And despite it being very, very dull that last 10 minutes for us and looked like the game was done, they have got this knack of somehow finding a way, and that is really key and will be key this season.
I just love it, that attitude, that mentality that, like Andy says, that never say die, that just sort of runs through them all. It doesn't matter the changes Phil Parkinson can make, they've just always got that about them. And, you know, especially after the way Saturday ended and you think you're on a sort of low, well no, we'll pick ourselves back up again, we'll go again on Tuesday night, and to go in front and almost lose it again. I know it's not over yet, but then to do that, what Wrexham have just done in the last few minutes, someone like Ollie Palmer as well, to be the sort of hero. I mean, the headlines write himself, the documentary just keeps writing itself.
Was it you, Mia, who was telling me about Stephen Fletcher saying to Ben Foster about talking to a player on the bench when he first arrived? Apparently he said in an interview, no, I wasn't, sorry, I just dropped you in it there then. Fletcher saying about the mentality that Andy was referring to, saying that when he first arrived at the club, he was a sub, and we were losing with about 10 minutes left, 1-0. And I can't remember who he said it was, but whoever it was, he said he turned to the player, the sub next to him, and he said, and the sub said, oh, we'll win this. And Fletcher's like, well, you reckon? Oh yeah, we win these. We did. Right, well, it's at the Wrexham end, which is good news. Looks like Wrexham are going first as well, which the percentages will tell you is a good thing. McLean is up there very early, spotting that ball up. The ref is still talking to the two goalkeepers about 40 yards out. McLean is standing on the penalty spot, juggling the ball. The rest of the players are up on the halfway line. And wow, the drama. It just keeps on coming, doesn't it?
Didn't see this coming 10 minutes ago.
Absolutely. We are predictably unpredictable, aren't we? So McLean is ready. Phillips, the Hull keeper, just fiddling around outside the posts, wasting a little bit of time. A second yellow for time wasting would be fun during a shootout for a goalkeeper. The ref just has a little word with him. And Phillips is dancing around. Here's the whistle. McLean steps up and scores. Sent him the wrong way. And Wrexham take the lead.
Well, excellent. Sorry, Mark. Excellent penalty. Waited a long time, didn't he? But he was so calm, like you say, just stood there sort of juggling the ball. Just watched Phillips, was like, well, you're not going to put me off. Beautifully placed left side.
I guess he sends the message, doesn't he, by doing that of, I'm confident. I'm not worried about standing here on my own for ages. Casey Palmer will take the penalty, right-footed. Wrexham fans behind the goal waving their torches on their mobile phones to put him off. Okonkwo standing tall, bouncing on the balls of his feet. Palmer steps up and sends Okonkwo the wrong way. Nice finish inside the right post. And it's 1-1. Elliot Lee goes next. Wow, it's just such a spectacle, a penalty shootout, as Lee spots the ball up and waits on the end of a short run up, right-footed. Again, Phillips bounces around and it's a good penalty. Keeper went the right way, but it was right in the side netting. Good finish by Lee.
Yeah, really good finish. Am I right in saying he was one of the ones that missed against Peterborough?
Yes.
That's true, yeah.
I think that, yeah.
Good knowledge, Mia.
Well, I try.
You succeed.
But again, shows strong mentality to come back from that one. I know it was a long time ago, but you don't forget them.
Yeah, exactly. Ndala will take the next penalty. Okonkwo standing off his line in no rush to get back as Ndala is slowly strolling up. Spots it up now. Seems to be more people with torches now trying to put him off. A very straight run up by Ndala, who's right-footed. Now he goes across to his left to make an angle. Little stutter run, steps up and hits the bar, misses! It was a cute one. Okonkwo though went the right way and he tried to lift it over Okonkwo and hits the bar, and Wrexham have the advantage. 2-1 up after 2 penalties each.
Well, he starts straight on. He takes a couple of steps to his left. Then he's got that little scuffle steps and then goes into the ball. Hits it well enough. Hits the join, crossbar and post. Bounces down, out.
Windass. Short run up. Stutter. Goal! Drills it inside the left post. Again, the keeper went the right way. This time it wasn't as much the placement as the power. And Wrexham are 3-1 up, having taken 1 penalty more. Up comes another substitute, Kamara. Ball bouncing as he wanders up. Ref stands on the spot again. The torches are out in the Stoke Cold Brew Coffee end. Okonkwo waits on his line. Left-footed. Kamara goes to the end of his run-up. Okonkwo dancing, trying to put him off. Kamara steps up and prints him the wrong way. Good penalty. 3-2 after 3 penalties in Wrexham's favour. And Wrexham have Ollie Palmer stepping up to take the next one.
I can't tell you how long that walk feels when you're doing it.
Yeah.
It is horrible. The relief when you score though, the walk back's nice.
Palmer, right-footed, steps up, scores. Whoa, that was a proper penalty. That keeper didn't even move. He just slotted it with pace, side-footed, bottom right corner. Lovely hit, and then stood and stared into the Stoke Cold Blue end for a bit.
Well, the way that he addressed the ball, the way he runs up, it looks like he's going to smash it. So I think the keeper's thinking he's just going to absolutely tee off here. Keeper stands and he just punches it in the bottom right-hand corner. That's a proper pen right there.
So you hit that tipping point now. Everything has to go Hull's way to take the sudden death. Giles with a straight run-up. 4-2 to Wrexham. Hull have 2 penalties left. Giles steps up and scores. That was very cool. That was. Sent Okonkwo the wrong way. Well, saw where Okonkwo was going and slotted it. And so Jack Marius has the responsibility of scoring and sending Wrexham through. Okonkwo walks up with the ball under his arm and hands it to his teammate. Phillips wanders back to his line. Marius looks like he wants to get on with business quickly. Puts the ball down. Here he goes, steps up right-footed. Yes! Wrexham win! What a remarkable cup tie. He sent the keeper the wrong way. And Wrexham win 5-3 rather, on penalties after a 3-3 draw. And we were 3-1 down in the last minute. And we're through to the second round of the cup.
3 days in a season of football already for Wrexham. The roller coaster has begun.
Let's make a TV show, guys.
Yeah, I think it would do pretty well, don't you? But wow, I mean, just again, how many times can we say it? Just great attitude, great mentality from all those players. You know, some of those on the fringes, they desperately want to stay in this competition for minutes. But then the ones who are coming on, equally, they're just winners. They've got that winning mentality. They want to win every single game, every single competition they're in. They want to be a part of it for as long as possible. And just again, you know, you're 2 goals down with not long to go. That's not an easy feat when you've got a whole fan singing like they've won the league. But Wrexham, like we say, always find a way. Never leave a Wrexham game early.
I can't heap enough praise on Ollie Palmer. The way that he was dealt the cards he was done at the back end of last season, the way he's come back in pre-season, the way that he's gone about being left out the first game, to get on the bench in this game, to get on and then to do what he's done today, that shows massive massive mentality, and well done, because he's basically got us back in the game on his own. 2 brilliant headed goals, pure Ollie Palmer, rolling back the years, but huge credit to him and a massive pat on the back.
Gives everyone a massive bump ahead of West Brom as well on Saturday, not just those players on the pitch but fans in the stadium as well. A little bit more confidence as well going into it, might bring a little bit more noise, which is what we're going to need. And yeah, I just can't believe it, Mark. What a Tuesday night.
Yeah, not bad, is it really? We made 11 changes, and frankly, the stiffs are all right. They did a very good job, that team. Absolutely tremendous. You know, whole started well. Wrexham, though, came back and had a very good spell through the middle of the first half. Elliot Lee opened the scoring with a deflected shot, but 5 minutes later, Ollie McBurney equalised, and it looked like they were going to take control of the game whole, as the Wrexham players are now just walking around and taking the applause of the fans. And Dala slotted a goal in from close range with 20 minutes left. Crooks also slotted in an open goal with 9 minutes left. It all looked over, but then Ollie Palmer, benefiting from 2 magnificent deliveries from the 2 wing backs. First McLean ripping a ball in that he headed home, and then less than 2 minutes later, a brilliant run by Barnett, and he delivered. Palmer planting a header home, and then the penalty shootout. And goodness me, Wrexham were perfection. 5 penalties out of 5, and Dala hit the bar with his, and Jack Marriott stepped up to slot the ball home, and Wrexham are through to the next round of the Carabao Cup. And it's just another day at the office, let's be honest.
Yeah, just another day at the office really, but I was just watching him walk across the pitch from the other side of the dugout. It's a nice walk across, isn't it, when you produce a performance and game like that. You know, rapturous applause obviously from all the fans. Real good one. I think that's going to live long in the memory.
But it's key, don't get beat. If you get beat, don't lose the next one. Do you know what I mean? And it can become a little bit of a habit, but they've come from nowhere. They've got back into the game. The penalties were absolutely top draw. They were a top draw. Keeper, no chance with any of them. He's gone the right way on a couple. But no, Wrexham come out on top again at home.
Wow, yeah, quite something. You know what? We were chatting just before the game to a couple of fans who've come from Oregon. And I've got to be honest, with about 5 minutes left, I thought, oh, it's a shame fans who've made all this journey, all this distance, and you know, they get to see the Southampton conclusion and now this. I think now they're rather pleased at the game somehow. Wow, that was drama. Absolutely writ large, remarkable stuff. And Wrexham go through to the next round. Not bad.
So, no key for more on Saturday. I'll leave it up to you lot out there.
I think he's got a case, hasn't he? But that is something that's fascinating. I mean, let's be honest, there's no point in hiding it. Phil Barkson's looking to bring more players in. When you look at the players we've got, you know, we're getting to the point where any more players are coming in, and players who I think you'd think would have a part to play this season will not be registered. Well, some of them are playing here, either off the bench or starting, and a few messages were sent, not least by Ollie Palmer.
And that's right, you know, him before the game, what's his thought process? What's going through his mind is like, oh, I'm on the bench. They put me on the bench because we haven't got really, looking round, there's nobody really else. And if needed, I might get 5 minutes. He's got half an hour, he's ran out, he's changed the game in our favour, and he's put himself out there because there is no Kiefer Moore. Phil Parkinson loves a big guy up there. It's out there, and he's, like you said, he's put a brilliant case for himself to start at home to West Brom.
I think it just proves you just never know what's going to happen in football, do you? You just can't write these things that just happen just without any sort of, you know, prediction or anything that ahead of you that gives you that sort of clue, and that's why we all just love it, and long may it continue.
Absolutely. That was great fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, give us United next round.
Oh yeah, like I say, give us a bye in the next round like that. Absolutely right. Wow. Well, that was fun. Absolute pleasure as always to bring the game to you all, and Keep your eye on the club media channels for everything. Nice extended hot take now with our penalty commentary on it. But wow, sensational that was, with a final score of Wrexham 3, Hull City 3. Wrexham win 5-3 on penalties and go through to the second round of the Carabao Cup. We've been Andy Morrell, Mia Roberts and Mark Griffiths for Wrexham AFC.